Oh dear. Oh, there it is. What's up, folks? Ready for a wonderful Friday evening stream. Amber S, hello, wearing pickle. Tire, oh geez, Tire is here. Everybody be in your best behavior. Kim, hello. What's up, 𝐷𝐂𝐿𝐄𝐿? Penguin Butt, what's up? What's up, Lewis? Heather, hello. Flame Blade, what's up, dude? Titan Crit, hello. He's like, I got a question, question. And then there's no question. I'm like, okay. Tokyo, what's up? Symphonia Maiden, hello. Darts, what's up? Joshua, hello. Steph. Layton, sup? New DM, yo. Ghost Phantom. Blitz. What up? Tashio, what's up, dude? Matt, yo. Christopher, hello. Norway, sweet. Boss Battle, what's up, dude? Sleep deprived. Go to sleep, dude. What's up, Gamer Pharaoh? I'm doing all right. What's up, Danny? Mario, the evil DM. 𝐷𝐂𝐿𝐄𝐿 says I didn't kill a single player today. They just had a random encounter with an adult green dragon hunting overhead, but they hid from it. Oh, nice. Tiger Tail, welcome to your first stream, dude. These streams are absolutely horrible, man. They're boring. They're unexciting. I talk monotone the whole time. I try to put everybody to sleep. It's gonna be the worst experience of your life, dude. I 100% guarantee you. Storm made them hide out in the empty little giant cave. They just hid from the dragon? Oh, man. Oh, the Stream Elements bot is running. It's a good thing we only started the stream a few minutes ago. Ooh. Risky Fortune, hello. Zine Tyler, get up. He's like, okay, leaves. Yes. I just have to keep talking bad about my own streams. Don, I'm doing great. You like watching my videos? Sweet, thanks, buddy. I like watching my videos too. No kidding. Sometimes my editor sends me my videos to review and I watch it a couple times. I'm just like, sweet. And then after it launches, I'll watch it again. Like, I've already watched this video a few times. Spy Clip, hello. Quasms, what's up, dude? Oh, you get to play for once, Heather? Sweet. Quasms is my editor. He is here now. I have to stop talking bad things about him, otherwise he'll resign. So we gotta be nice. Gotta be nice now. Oof, questions coming already. Yay. We'll start the stream in a little bit. Right now it's starting soon. There's, you know, that message there. My cat is getting clean for the stream too. Mommy is she's making sure that she is clean and presentable for the stream. So she's giving her foot a cleaning right now. She probably doesn't understand that that's the wrong place to clean yourself. Hey, mommy. Yeah. Hello, we're watching you. The stream is watching you. Oh, here's Squeaky. He's like, I want some snacks. Okay, whoops. We're not ready to start yet. You can ask multiple questions. I recommend you separate them, though. All questions go into my spreadsheet. My moderators are writing them down, so your questions will not get lost. And spammers die. And Penguin Butt loves swinging the wrench. I have several moderators here, and they will smoke spammers, so you probably should think a couple times before you spam questions if you don't want to get smoked with the wrench. Just throwing that out there. Andrew, what's up, dude? Penguin Butt's like, I'm ready for smacking. I'm just gonna smack them all. I heard a rumor that Quasums is getting older sometime in the next few days. Oh yeah, Quasums, you have a birthday. What, is it tomorrow, Quasums? Happy birthday, Quasums. Is it tomorrow? I heard it was tomorrow. I heard that somebody was running a happy birthday game for you and they're gonna kill you in the game. Is that true, Quasums? Come on, Quasums. It's a yes or no question. You just type it and push enter. He's having trouble with his computer. I'm shaming my editor. This is probably not a smart thing for me to do. Tomorrow? Okay, cool. Good luck. And, you know, I have encouraged Zack to kill you. You're gonna have 𝐑𝐂𝐿𝐄𝐄 kill him. He's running for you an adventure that I wrote for my Ancient Dragon game that Quasums played through. Part of it, at least. And it's actually now, it came out today in Layer Magazine. No, not today. Thursday. Yeah. So yesterday. I can do calendars very well. It came out yesterday in Layer Magazine. So Zack is now running that for Quasums. Whee! Matt Kraft, thank you for the $25. I appreciate that. My kitties mostly appreciate that. They're now gonna have more snacks. Actually, I have a backup right now. I have some backup. I was getting low on one of their kitty treats. I had to buy some more the other day, so we're good. Penguin Butt's like, thank you for supporting Luke and the kitties. Mostly the kitties, though. They're look how malnourished they are. Look at these guys. They're so malnourished. Okay, Orange, you are not helping my case. Orange, you're okay. All right, you know what? Let's not go to that camera. They look too big on that camera. Let's go with this camera right there because they look malnourished here. They're just itty bitty ones. All right, let's start this thing off. All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream. Tonight's live stream features me and my cats, and we're gonna be answering Dungeon Master questions in general. You can ask me my favorite food. You know what? Let's not ask me my favorite stuff. That doesn't usually go very well. So anyway, Dungeon Master questions, D&D questions, stuff like that. That's what we're doing tonight. So you throw questions in the chat, do the whole hashtag question. My moderators will grab your question. They will throw it into the spreadsheet. Your question will not get missed. Please don't spam. Penguin Butt and my lovely moderators all love smoking spammers. So just do it once and I'll do what I can. I will tell you that I get crap tons of questions on the YouTube streams. So if your question doesn't get answered, you got a couple options. One, you can come over to Twitch. I stream on Twitch every Tuesday. I'm on Twitch answering questions. So you can come there and hang out with us and get some questions in. The other thing you can do too is just throw money at me. Super chats are a thing, and if you super chat a question, I am contractually obligated to answer your question. So I'm not trying to pump you for money, okay? I'm not gonna do sleazy bullcrap like that. I'm just telling you that if you super chat it, I will answer it because it would be unconscionable not to, in my opinion. So anyway, those are your options, but Q&A tonight. And before we jump into the Q&A, I have the first thing that I want to talk about is Stack Up. These dudes right here are 501c3 military charity. They support active and veteran service members and they promote a positive mental health, and they do like suicide prevention and stuff. These dudes do crap tons of awesome stuff for our folks in the military. So I am in this month right here of May, that's where we are right now, I'm trying to raise, my goal is $5,000 to raise for Stack Up. There's a little bar at the top of the screen there. We've begun, and I want to get closer to that 5,000 goal to raise money. Basically what these dudes do is they have 4 different things they do. The first thing they do to help our folks in the service is they send supply crates to people that are deployed and undeployed. Basically, supply crates have games and other gaming stuff in them to help them deal with mental health stuff, just keep their minds in the right place, be able to relax and unwind and stuff. My brother was in the military. Well, he's still in the military. What is he? He's the reserve national. He's a National Guard, and he was deployed twice now. And he talked about, you know, you got basically 12-hour work days, and then after that, you're in your little dome. He was these little air-conditioned domes he was in, and like you basically just relax, play video games, and try to take your mind off crap. And so Stack Up gives our veterans and active service members stuff that they can do that, games and other stuff like that. They also do air assaults, where they literally will fly in someone from the military to like a gaming event or a convention, so they can link up with other people. They can hang out with folks, you know, and just unwind, relax, and have fun and stuff. They also have stacks, which are groups that are positioned around the world that are basically there to help assist veterans and active service members however they need it. They also have a helpline, a crisis intervention line, mental health support, suicide prevention line too, that is 24/7 that people can call as well whenever they need help. So they do lots of amazing, awesome stuff for our folks in the military. So trying to raise some money for them. There's a link there down in the chat and all that kind of stuff. So if you feel so inclined, please consider giving a little something to Stack Up. All right, next we're doing a giveaway tonight. We have a giveaway. So I just released the May issue of Layer magazine. This issue is called Vows and Vengeance, and you can see some beautiful images up on the screen. Not all of them are from this issue, but they're from various issues. The latest issue just came out, and we are going to be doing a giveaway tonight, not for the latest issue. We're going to be doing a giveaway for a back issue. I think we're doing it for issue 2, which is, I don't know. It's up there somewhere. Peril and Prestige. We're going to be giving away issue 2 tonight. So there's a link there where you can sign up for the giveaway, get in on that. It's pretty cool stuff. Basically, my Layer magazine is a monthly magazine that I publish to my patrons, and it includes tons of Dungeon Master resources. Every single issue has 2 entire 5th edition adventures in it with maps for virtual tabletop, and you get the map image files too. You don't have to like get the magazine and then go buy the maps separately, so you can run it on your virtual tabletop of choice, such as Roll20 or whatever. It comes with the files of the maps. It also has things like magic item curses, encounters, random tables, villains with stat blocks. What else does it have? Factions. We have some factions coming out. We're gonna start doing player options as well, some subclasses and stuff like that. The May issue 2 that just came out has bonus content from the Dungeon Coach. There is a tattoo system, an entire magic tattoo system. There are magic tattoos, and there are 3 new subclasses, one for the Artificer, Monk, and Bard as well. So that just came out. So go into the giveaway, and we will draw the winner of the... My cat's bothering me. We'll draw the winner of the giveaway tonight at the end of the stream. So go sign up for that crap. Maybe get yourself some Layer magazine. Woo! All right. We're done with all that. Now we can do questions. Yeah, mommy cat was bugging me. Moderators, if you could mark them blue too, if you could do a little bit of review and mark things in blue in the sheet, that would be very much appreciated as well. It helps me direct my attention. Otherwise, I gotta read. This will go slow. I have a game with some friends, and 2 are into roleplay, and 2 are kind of uncomfortable with it. Any advice on how to combine these 4? Well, since the entire game of Dungeons and Dragons is role-playing, if they're uncomfortable with the game, they probably shouldn't be playing the game. Yeah, it's like, well, you know, we're gonna play Monopoly, and 2 of my players hate it, and then 2 people love it. It's like, well, the people that hate Monopoly shouldn't play Monopoly. So if you have a couple players who don't like roleplay, which is the entire game is roleplay, combat is role-playing, exploration is role-playing, social interactions are role-playing, the entire game is role-playing. So if they don't like role-playing, Dungeons and Dragons is probably not for them. Because yeah. Now, on the off chance that when you asked that question, you were committing the classic blunder of confusing roleplay and social interactions, I'll answer that question too. This is one of my biggest pet peeves is when folks say role-playing, but they don't mean role-playing. What they mean is the talkie bits, social interactions. When people are talking in character or interacting with NPCs, they will often label that as role-playing, and that's not role-playing. I mean, that is a segment of role-playing, but the entire game is role-playing. Social interactions and the talkie bits is one aspect of role-playing, and it's a pet peeve that folks refer to it incorrectly because it's just wrong. When I'm in combat, I'm role-playing my character just as much as when I'm talking to some NPC before I kill him anyway. So in the off chance that you were asking that questions, it doesn't really matter. You have 2 players who want to do the talkie bits, they want to do social interactions, and they like it and they enjoy it, and you have 2 people that are uncomfortable with it. It doesn't really matter. You can still run the game for the 4 of them because you should be having a mixture of elements in your game design. You should have some combat and exploration and social interaction. We're talking about the 3 pillars of role-playing games. Your game should be designed to have a mixture of those things so that when those people that are uncomfortable with the talkie bits, when you get to a part of your game that has social interactions and they're uncomfortable with it, well, they don't have to participate. They could just sit there and watch the other people participate. They might say a thing or two, but not a whole lot, and that's perfectly fine. They don't have to engage with that part of the game because there's other parts of the game. There's exploration, which my buddy Joe loves. He's one of my players too, my Chris Estrad game. And then there's combat, which lots of people love as well. And so if you got a couple players that don't want to engage with the social interaction, it's not that big of a deal. Let them engage with the exploration. Let them engage with the combat. It's fine. Run a balanced game. Sometimes I watch some D&D games on Twitch, and if it weren't labeled D&D, you wouldn't even know it were D&D because the whole game is pretty much social interactions. They're always just talking. If you run a game that's pure social interaction, then yeah, you're gonna have 2 players that are very unsatisfied with that game. Which is why I always recommend folks running games that have a combination of those 3 traits, because you have a higher chance of running a game that's more satisfying to the majority of your players than if you focus only on combat or only on talkie bits. So there's that. Oh, yay, I forgot to start the recording. I'm gonna start the recording now. I suck. I'm gonna have to download this from YouTube. Who reminded me to start the recording and I didn't see you? Somebody reminded me, I'm sure, to start the recording and I didn't even see you. I apologize. How do you deal with individuals who hog the spotlight, leading to some players feeling left out? Okay, don't be mean to your players. I was gonna say like smoke them or something. Don't do that. You got a player hogging the spotlight. You get them to quiet down a bit. You get them to stop. So like the dude's like all like woo, ah! And you got like another player over there who's like, you know, just not. He can't talk because the other dude won't shut up. So you're like, yo, hey, Chris. All right, Chris. You know. Let's hold on a second. Hey, Tim, you know, would you like to say something? Stacy, how about you? What is your character doing? Would your character like to say anything to the NPC? No, Chris, wait. Let's let everybody participate in the game. You literally can just handle it as it comes up. And this is something that you should be doing as you're running the game, is trying to give all your different players equal times in the spotlight. Let them participate if they want to. So really, if you got someone hogging the spotlight, you can talk to them in private and say, hey dude, you know, I need you to help me create space to let the other players participate too, you know. So if you can help me with that, right? So you can talk to them in private. You can also just call them out while they're talking and just be like, yo, hold on a second, time out. Hey, Stacy, Tim, what do you guys want to do? You know, you literally just get them to calm down for a second, and then you ping it over to other players and give them an opportunity to participate in the game as well. So it's just managing your table. It's table management, you know, and players. Now, that's how you really should be doing it. It is easy to fall into the trap of not doing that and letting a few players run away with the game, you know. So as dungeon masters, we have to be cognizant of creating that space so that the folks who aren't participating have an opportunity to. They might not always want to. Some players are spectators and they're happy to just watch and be quiet much of the time, and that's okay. But we want to give them the opportunity to do that, to participate if they want to. Any tips to make dinner with Strahd more fun? I don't know, steak, potatoes. Make sure you have A1 steak sauce. I would go with a nice pie. Maybe like a apple pie, but with the crumble stuff on top. I forget what that's called. There's a name for that. Not pumpkin. Don't do pumpkin. Apple pie is always good. Ooh, pasties. If you can get some pasties. Oh, dude, pasties would be a great meal with Strahd. And then afterwards, if there are any leftovers, you just stuff them in your pockets and go. I think that would make dinner with Strahd amazing. I mean, I can tell you what I did when my players had to dine with Strahd. My players refused his invitation, and so he arrived in 𝐷𝐿𝐾 and was like, "Hey, you guys are coming with me. You're going to dine with me." And they had to go through a magical portal to his castle. And his point in having them dine with him was to literally show them that he's the boss, that he's the Lord of Barovia, and they can't do anything about it. And so he taunted them. The players were being all passive aggressive, and one of them especially was saying things back to Strahd, you know, talking back basically, and Strahd just laughed it off and said, "Oh, I like it. You have spirit, you have character." Because remember, according to the module at least, one of the things Strahd is doing is trying to see if any of the characters could potentially, you know, replace him as Lord of Barovia. According to the module, does that make sense? No, not really. But according to the module, that's what Strahd's supposed to be doing. And so if a character expresses, like, you know, backbone, that could please Strahd, and he could just laugh it off and say, "Oh, you have good fighting spirit. Very good there." You know, and then go on with it. But one of the things Strahd did is he had Gertruda, who is Medmary's daughter, who is in his castle. He pulled out Gertruda and literally drank her blood in front of all of my players' characters as a way of showing them and demonstrating to them that he is in control. They are helpless. They can do nothing about it because he is Lord of Barovia. And my players did nothing. They sat there, they watched Strahd drink her blood. Not a single one of them even got out of their chair, said nothing in protest. They just let it happen. And then after that, when Strahd dismissed them and wished them well, they left, and one of my players stole a chair from Strahd's dining set, and he left it in the street in 𝐷𝐿𝐾. That was the extent of his his rebellion against Strahd. Meridon. and now Strahd has werewolves and vampires scouring Barovia looking for his missing chair. I've watched your great video on mysteries. That's an old one. That's a one I did a while ago. But do you have any advice to give to a DM who wants to create a first homebrew campaign with a mystery? My group loves escape rooms. Thanks. Oh gosh, mysteries are not my forte. If I wanted to create a mystery for one of my groups, see if I can find this. Here we go. Honestly, I would either use one from this, or I would probably create one based off something I read in here, or I would. These are supposed to be mysteries, adventures. They may or may not be. I don't know. I haven't read them yet. either use one of those, or I would read through some of these and get inspiration to create a mystery. And then I would just create a mystery and I'd wing it and I'd do my best. I don't really have any, I mean, besides that video, I don't have any great tips on mysteries. That's not really my forte. I don't run a whole lot of mystery adventures. So I can't really offer any super great advice on it, in all honesty. It's not usually what I do. Somebody's like, oh, you're supposed to know everything. Nope, don't know everything over here. So, sorry, dude. Squeaky, he's starting to bite my leg. What? What's wrong down there? He's blinking at me. My group keeps getting in fights with NPCs in positions of power and getting themselves in danger. What should I do to keep them from doing it? Dude, your group is rebelling against authority. That's what they're doing. They're doing it. It's the classic pattern. Okay, so we have real lives and then we have D&D. In real life, I take it from my boss and I can't do anything about it unless I quit my job. All right. In real life, I gotta pay my taxes. All right. In real life, I have to follow the rules. In real life, if the authority tells me something, I have to do it. All right. That's real life. D&D is not real life. D&D is my ability to do things that I can't do in my real life, which includes giving authoritative figures the middle finger. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So like, I can't say up yours to the authorities in my real life. I could, but it's not advisable. But in D&D, I can. So it sounds like to me you have a player or two who's just doesn't like authority, and D&D and the game is their opportunity to basically tell authorities up yours. Or you know, you're portraying the authorities in a certain way that is rubbing your players or their characters the wrong way too. So you know, if your authority figures are chafing against them by the way that you're role playing them, that could be provoking the players to do stuff as well. But also, you know, it could just be in their minds. You know, we're heroes here. We're the dudes, and we're powerful, or we will be someday. And we're not gonna follow the rules of anybody, you know. And so they're rebelling against authority. And my recommendation to you, there are some things I just talked about you could address and tweak, you know, perhaps how you're role playing your authority figures. But you could also just introduce consequences into the game. If they did something to perturb a local lord, he is not without recourse. He has, above all, he probably has money and authority, assumedly. He can do lots of things to screw with your players to make their lives more difficult, including hiring rival adventuring companies to do certain things. Who knows what? So introducing consequences into the game world is one way to get to players. If you want to run a quote unquote realistic game, because you don't have to, you know, but if you want it to have a semblance of realism where if they give the middle finger to an authority figure, there are actual consequences, well, then make consequences. And they might stop doing it. There's a player in my group who is feeling left out because the other members of my game don't take her very seriously. She's younger. How do I handle this? Talk to your players. Talk to the other players. you got to talk to them. That's the solution. You got to be like, yo, you guys, you guys seem to be ostracizing the other player. You seem to be marginalizing her, pushing her to the side, and not allowing her to participate. You know, by the way you're treating her, she's feeling left out, and it's probably because she's younger or something. You need to call it. You got to call it out. You got to say, hey, this is what I am perceiving. This is what I see happening. This is how it's making her feel, and how it's making me feel, by the way, because I care about her and want her to be able to participate. Squeaky, you gotta stop biting me, buddy. You got to call it out. You got to tell them what's up, and then ask them to help involve her more in the game, and to stop treating her in whatever way, however you want to describe it, that they're treating her. Private conversation with them, not with the younger player there, and ask them to amend their behavior. That's the way to handle that. I'm a first-time dungeon master. Do you have any tips? How many videos have I published on my channel? I have a few tips. Specific questions will get you specific answers. Otherwise, I'm just gonna say, watch my videos. Sorry, I'm a jerk. I don't know what you want me to do. Luke, what do you do with a character when their player doesn't make it to a session? I call the player on the phone, see where they are. I drive to where they are. I get their happy butt in the car and I drive them back to the game. My other players sit at the table and they hold down the fort. Usually we're gonna have to restock the snack supplies by the time we get back. You can't just let them skip the game session. No, their butt's in the seat. They gotta be there playing. It's the way it works around here. Get their addresses and make sure you know their home addresses, where they work, all right? Have a vehicle on standby. Make sure it's full of gas. Make sure you're able to get places, okay? If you need to enlist the services of Uber or something to go get them, you know, and maybe like, some sort of enforcer type, then do it. But you can't just let them skip your game session. It's insane. It's totally insane. You get their butts in that chair. That's how you do that. And then probably go to jail, so probably don't want to do that. Okay, real answer. So, missing player. The simplest, easiest thing for you to do is to simply have one of the other. So you got 5 players, right? One goes bye-bye. Well, you got 5 characters, and you just get one of these players to play that character. Bingo, bango, you're done. The game goes on. Happy, everybody's happy. Skippy time. It's the most effortless, smooth way to do it. Have one of your existing players that's actually there play their character. Boom, you're done. Rock and roll. It does require consent, right, from the gaming group that it's okay to do that, because there are players who don't feel comfortable having somebody else play their character. That's fine, you know. So have somebody else play their character. If they don't want to do that and they're like, no, well, then you got a couple options. First thing you can do, invite guest players. Have other people that maybe want to play the game but have never played before come and sit in and play the game. I call these, when I'm playing in person, I have on-call players that serve this purpose. And the beautiful thing about having on-call players that fill in when somebody's not there is that I get to know other players and see if, hey, this is a pretty cool dude, you know, she might be a good fit for the game if we ever get an open spot or whatever. And then in the future, when a player does leave the game, because players leave games, and there's a spot open, I can invite one of my on-call players who has been with us before that I know is pretty good to come play with us. Because I don't want to just do like a random invite to somebody I've never played with before and give them a permanent spot in the game. That's nuts. They could make the whole game miserable for everybody. Anyway, that's my on-call system. Don't need it right now because we're all playing online. But when I'm in person, I use the on-call system. So you can have a guest player basically come sit in. The other thing that you can do is you could have all your players could have a backup player character basically. And when somebody's character is gone, then they just pull out their backup character, and their backup character, boop, is right there. And you have one player again playing 2 characters. Boom, there you go. Now, in that case, you have one character that basically leaves the game because the player's not there, and another character arrives and is in the game. Now, some dungeon masters will end up spending like hours of game time trying to explain how this could possibly happen. Holy crap, we need a story to explain how one character left and another character came, and you spend the whole game session figuring that out. And then you got to reverse it in the next game session when the player comes back. So there's a magical thing that we do in Dungeons and Dragons. It's hand waving. You do a hand wave and you just make the swap and you keep on playing the game. Is it gonna break somebody's immersion and their suspension of disbelief is gonna get shattered to all 9 places? Maybe. I personally don't care. It's the most expedient way to do things. So when I have a player, for instance, my Ancient Dragon game, they do not want people to play their characters. So when one person is gone, then another player's character will have another player will have a new character come in, their backup character. And we have this ongoing theme of tentacles There'll be like darkness will coalesce in a corridor. Tentacles will swarm out, grab 𝐑𝐄𝐒 around the ankles, yank him to the ground, and drag him into the darkness. 𝐑𝐄𝐒 giggling all the while, pulling out his weapons, getting ready to fight. And then a portal opens up above, and another person falls out onto the floor and collects themselves. And then both portals close back up. And you guys all see lying before you Jim Bob's new character who's going to be playing with you for this game session because 𝐑𝐄𝐒 is gone. And that's it. Boom, you're done, and you keep on playing the game. So that is an option as well. So a few different options there for you. If a player cannot make the game session, as alternatives, sad alternatives to tracking them down and dragging them there, kicking and screaming, because yeah, you get in trouble for that stuff. It's the sad world we live in these days. Okay. Joe Hale, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Click that guy right there. Click that guy. What literature do you get inspiration from? I don't know if I get inspiration from literature. Ooh, okay, you know what? My mom's probably gonna call me tonight. I should put my phone on vibrate because I guarantee you my mom is gonna call me. She tends to call me every time I'm streaming. Lucas, hello, it's your mom. I'm like, oh, mom, I'm streaming. She always does that. I read D&D books. I get inspiration from just reading the D&D books. New module comes out right now. I'm reading through Ghosts of Saltmarsh. I can get inspiration from just reading modules. I get inspiration from reading the Monster Manual books. We have 3 Monster Manual books right now. I'll read those things. If you're talking about other literature, like I read other stuff. I read like the Song of Ice and Fire. I'll read the Wheel of Time. I read the Forgotten Realms books. So I'll read those books, but I don't get inspiration from them for my games. In so much that I don't like reading those books doesn't get me excited to run D&D. I don't take things from those books and use them in my games, at least not consciously. Who knows what's kicking around up here? It just, expresses itself naturally without you knowingly doing it. So I read those books, but I don't really get inspiration from them. They don't get me fired up to run the game. Most of the time, what gets me fired up and interested in running the game are 2 things. One, just reading D&D books like the modules or the Monster Manual, or preparing for my game session. When I start preparing for my game session, when I start creating adventures, there's 2 types of preparation. One is creating the adventures, which I usually do way in advance of the actual game session. And the other type of preparation is right before a game session when you're just preparing for that particular session. Both of those things get me inspired to play the game. My preparation time is an exciting time for me. I don't always look forward to it, but when I get into the thick of it, then I start to get perked up and I get inspired to play the game. So that's another thing that inspires me. It's not literature though. Squeaky, you keep on biting me. You're gonna get picked up. This guy just keeps biting me. It's ticklish too, because he gets up next to me to bite me, and then his whiskers are like rubbing against my leg, and it. Oh! We have a show. We have a cat show. Orange is getting himself all purdy for stream. Orange. No, he can't be bothered. Oh, there he goes. He's like, what? What's the problem? What are you doing over there? Yeah. Okay, Orange. Whew. Uh-oh. Oh, here's little guy. Look at, we have little guy. Little guy came. What's up, little guy? He's gonna go roll on the ground. Watch him. Little guy, what are you doing? What are you doing, little guy? All right, I'm gonna take a moment here. Remind folks, we are trying to raise some money for Stack Up. It is a military charity that does a lot of awesome stuff for our veterans and active service members. So if you guys want to help support what they do, they basically have several things they do, but one of them is they just send games and other stuff to folks that are deployed to help them with mental health, relaxation, just stuff like that to get their minds off from the thick of things. They also have a suicide and crisis intervention helpline 24/7 that folks can call. So they do lots of awesome stuff for our military. So please go show some support. There's a link right there where you can donate a little something for these folks. And we have some goals too. Basically, I'm trying to raise $5,000. If there are different milestones, at certain milestones, I'll give away issues of Layer Magazine to everyone who's donated. Every single person will get some Layer Magazine back issues. I also have a couple milestones where folks can play D&D with me too. So we'll do some cool stuff if we hit our milestones. So please check that out. We're also doing a giveaway tonight. So link right there in the chat. And we're going to be giving away 3 back issues of Layer Magazine as well. Layer Magazine, as you folks have probably heard, is a monthly D&D magazine that I publish to my patrons. And the May issue just came out. It has Dungeon Master resources, things like D&D 5th edition adventures in it, magic items, new monsters, lots of cool stuff to help you guys reduce your prep time and improve the quality of your games. So 3 people tonight will win that giveaway. So there's a link right there where you can do that. Joe Hale is saying, how do I send money or help? There's a link right there in the chat for Stack Up. It should be working. Let me just double check. Yep, it's working. Yep, the link down in the chat is working. So you can just click that, and then there's a place where you can donate. Looks like we're at $500 right now, which is awesome. Woo! Ambers is our top donor. Ambers right now has donated $250 to Stack Up. Thank you so much, Amber. That's awesome. Mr. Gore, $25. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. Heather Hot Mitts, $50. Thank you so much. And then we got some others from some of my previous streams. Thanks so much, guys. So we have, holy crap. Oh no, oh no, oh no. There are some of our incentives. Luke does a little dance, and then I have to do, Luke sings a song as the barbarian. These are some of the incentives. So Amber just Hot Mitts unlocked the dance, and then Amber's unlocked Luke sings a song as the barbarian. Oh dear. Okay, so I have to sing a song as the barbarian. What if I sing I'm a Little Teapot as the barbarian while I dance? That should satisfy all of these. Would that be fair? Let's do that. Excuse me, guys. My cats are like, we're getting ran over. We're getting ran over. All right, you guys ready for this? This is going to be high quality entertainment right here. Let's get here.
Hi, everybody. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, and here is my spout. Tip me over and pour me out. Yay, little teapot. How was that? Was that okay? I don't really know how to sing. I'm not a good singer. I'm not a good singer.
Thank you, Ambers, Heather, Mr. Gore. Really appreciate that. I love supporting our veterans. They do so much awesome, and our active service members. They do so much awesome stuff for us. All right, let's keep going with the questions. Squeaky G's. He came right back. Came right back. As a newer DM, how do I get my players to take me seriously? I'm trying to make sure it's fun for everyone, but I'm soft-spoken and I have trouble making myself heard. Ironically. How are they not taking you seriously? That's my question. That's my follow-up question. I don't know what that means. In what way are your players not taking you seriously? I don't know how to answer that. Unless I know more details. Like, how do players not take the Dungeon Master seriously? He's running the game for you. The Dungeon Master prepped a game for you. They spent their time preparing a game for you. And they're doing what none of you probably want to do. So how are you not taking him seriously and disrespecting the effort that a Dungeon Master puts into the game? That blows my mind. I would be pissed if I had players treating me poorly after I go through a lot of effort to make a game for them. Dude, like, you don't got to give me money, but at least just be respectful and appreciate the fact that I'm running the game for you when none of you wanted to do it. I mean, the solution is probably to talk to them. The solution is probably to explain how you feel, the way they're making you feel, you know, and then, you know, talk with them and figure out what the heck's going on. Why are you guys treating me this way? You know, like, did I do something to deserve this? Do you guys just not like me? I mean, I don't have to be the Dungeon Master. I don't have to prepare the game for you, you know? So I would probably try to talk with them, but you can tell Luke has some undercurrents of anger walking into that conversation. Joe Hale, thank you for upgrading to Ancient Dragon, dude. I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, keep going. Keep going. Gotta remember, violence is not the answer. Squeaky, he just wants his treat. He wants me to give him treats. That's what he wants. Oh, they said his players were talking over him and making everything a joke. Oh, that's horse crap. Dude. So if I had players that were if I were trying to talk and run the game as a Dungeon Master, and I had players talking over me, just talking over me, shutting me down, not letting me run the game, essentially, and they were turning everything into a joke. Now, here's the thing. Players will turn certain things into jokes, and that's fine. It happens, it's gonna happen, right? But if it's like every 5 minutes, something I'm trying to do is silly and stupid and they turn into a joke, okay, there's a line somewhere back there and you went way over that line. So if I had players doing that, I would probably just be like, do you guys want to play this game? I need to know if you want to play this game, because right now you're pissing me off. Right now you're talking over me and you're not taking anything seriously. Everything becomes a joke. Like, do you want to play this game or not? Right now, the information that I'm picking up is that you don't even want to play this game. So, like, let's not play the game then, because I spend a lot of time preparing for it and you all are making this into a circus. So let's figure this out. Is it yes to the game or no to the game? And I would be putting my stuff together probably. Ready to walk out. I would be pissed if that were happening to me. There are so many players out there that wish they had a Dungeon Master run the game for them, and then you have people that are just like throwing it in your face and won't even let you run the game for them. It's horse crap. It's horse crap, dude. So I would not take that. Is it fair to skip a scenario in an adventure, or should the players go through everything in an adventure? It's perfectly fine to skip stuff. That's not a problem. It's a pitfall to think that they have to do everything. So I would argue that the converse is the wrong way to do it. So if you force them to do every single scenario, everything, every single encounter, every single fight, and you can't bypass it, you can't sneak around, everything must be done, that is the pitfall. So it's okay to skip stuff. It's okay to if they have a clever plan and it works and they make some good rolls, they might bypass something, they might talk their way past a guard or something. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And it makes the players feel good when they accomplish things like that and then don't have to fight everything in that dungeon or whatever.
So no, it's perfectly fine to let them skip stuff. And you could if you're running the adventure and there's some stuff in there that you just don't even want to use because it's kind of dumb, just pull it out and don't use it. When you run an adventure, you have the prerogative as the dungeon master to change whatever you want. Run that module, that adventure the way you want. And then your player, and even if you had something in there, your players can skip over it if they figure out a way to do that. When do you feel it's appropriate for a player to switch characters? When they're not having fun with their current character is usually the parameter I go by. My current one I feel doesn't mesh well with the group. That's a good reason to switch a character too. I have GM's blessing, but fear it would be unfair to other players. Why would it be unfair? Why would it be unfair to them? I don't know. I don't know. Like, are the other players like not allowed to switch characters? If they're not allowed to switch characters or something and they want to, then that might be, that could make them feel like it's unfair. But if that's not the case, then I don't see any reason why they think it's unfair. It sounds like you have very good reasons for switching it, and just say, hey guys, I'm going to switch characters because my current character doesn't work well with the group and this new character will work better with the group. And we're going to do a switch. And as long as, I don't think there's a problem with that. As long as you're not switching characters like every 2 game sessions. I had a player once who wanted to switch characters every other game session. And I was like, no, not happening. All right. Because that got old fast. Because there are some players who just want to theory craft everything. They're on Reddit and Facebook and they're just like, and they build these characters together, and then they get all excited and they want to play it in a game. But then once they've played it, they get bored of it and they want to do something else. And it's like, no. That is disruptive to the game. Not happening. Thank you very much. So I had to play it like that once. I was like, I had to put my foot down. I'm like, no. No, not happening. It's too much, dude. That's my coffee cam. This is like preserved only. My coffee cam. Never play with people that don't respect people. That's pretty good solid advice right there, Mario. Absolutely. Is Tashio leaving? Tashio! It's not that late. What time is it for Tashio? It's only like 2 in the morning. Tashio, come on. It's 2 in the morning, dude. You got it in you. Just stay up till 4. Come on, man. Tomorrow's Saturday. It's not that big of a deal, buddy. He's already gone, isn't he? I wasn't able to convince him to stay, was I? Man. Dang. Denkono, hello. Hello, Luke and multiple cats. It's 1 a.m. and you're getting sick. Oh, he pulled the sick card. Oh, well, geez, now that your health is involved, I would be just a sleazy, horrible person to try to make you stay now. All right, go get some sleep. I'm messing with you, dude. Thanks for hanging out with us, buddy. We'll see you later. Squeaky wants his snack. Oh, we're gonna do a cat strike in a little bit. We'll do a cat strike in just a little bit. All right, sweet. Oh, nice. We got some more donations for Stack Up. Beautiful, beautiful. John Duke, thank you so much for the $20 for Stack Up. Really appreciate that. Oh, yay. We have anonymous donation, $100. Luke dances and sings I'm a Little Teapot. Oh, spectacular. I'll do that in a little bit. Thank you so much for donating to Stack Up, guys. I really appreciate that. I can't even type in my own chat. It says I have to sign in to chat. It's YouTube, you're stupid. It's not YouTube. It's either Stream Elements or OBS, but whatever. They're morons. Logan says, hey Luke, I have been considering possibly trying to turn my DMing into income lately. How did you get to where you are now with making money from Dungeons and Dragons? Any tip? I created a YouTube channel and I started making videos, and it took me 3 years. Was it 3 years? 2.5 years? It took me like solid 1.5 years. I don't know. It took years, dude. It took years to get where I am at. So my path is not the easy path. My path is the long path of lots of hard work. And it requires a certain skill set too. It's probably not something everybody can do. There's a definite skill set and that it requires. I feel doesn't mean you can't learn it, but it does mean you got to get it somehow. So if you want to turn being DMing into an income, you don't have to take my path. There are other paths to getting an income from being a dungeon master. The most common way to make money as a dungeon master is to run games where you charge people to play in your game. And you can, depending on how good you are, you can charge various amounts of money. Right now, I have players who pay $100 to play in a game with me, and there's a line too. So why? Who knows? Apparently they have fun and they enjoy it. So the better games you can run, the better you can get as a dungeon master, the more entertaining games you can run, then you're able to charge folks perhaps for that. You can also look at going to some companies, depending on where you live, will pay for people to run D&D for their associates, for their employees, and they consider it some sort of like, benefit. They might pay you $500 for a night to go in and run D&D, and you make some money. So there are different options, different ways to get into doing that. I don't know tons of details about how to do that. There are lots of folks who there was a guy, one of my players we did a one shot. Ed ran a one shot for us this week on Tuesday, and he is a pro DM. He makes money for it. He runs 11 games right now. They're pay to play games. And I don't know if that's his full-time income, but it's probably a decent income. So he could probably give you some information. You should ask Ed. Ask Ed or ping my Discord or something. Yeah, 11 games a week. Yes. Yeah, I know, dude. It's a lot. I don't know. He said he loved it though. He said he's like, I love D&D though. It's on my second. The video will be coming out actually today. Yeah, if you go to my second YouTube channel, the DM Lair Streams, then you can watch the one shot that Ed ran for us. It's called A Cry for Help, and it's like starting to get windy outside. And one of those players said he has 11 games that he runs. He said he loved it too. Yes. Awesome. I don't know that I could run that many games a week personally. Even if I had nothing else that I was doing, that would be a lot. That means that at least a few days you have 2 games a day. Whew. Do you think a dungeon master should read the Dungeon Master Guide? Yes. Luke, do you carry at the table to ensure your DM authority? Not yet. I just did my fingerprinting for my CPL though, so I will be able to do that. I won't. I don't think I would need to do that. That would be highly illegal to brandish to ensure your dungeon master authority. You don't want to do that, dude. How important do you think it is a DM knows all the rules? You can't know all the rules. It's impossible to know all the rules. You should be familiar with them. You should especially be familiar with the most important ones, the ones that come up all the time at the game table, but you can't know them all. At the very least though, you can be familiar with the most important ones and some of the other ones, and then be able to find the reference when you need to, and be okay with making temporary rulings as needed. But you can't know everything. There probably are some that do, and they're insane. They're just like got crazy memories. I can't. And I forget things too. Like even some of the most popular rules, like even some of the rules you always deal with. Sometimes I'll forget those and I'll be like, wait, how does grappling work again? And I'll just totally have to look it up because I'm a moron. Actually, I think that happened to me about a week ago. I think that was in my Ancient Dragon game. I think it was grappling or it was something. And I was like, wait a second. How does this work again? Yeah. So you can't know it all. Yeah, we're going to do a cat strike. We'll redeem a cat strike. Does the stream end when your tankard is empty? Pretty much, but I have backup. I have more coffee right over there, so we'll get some more. How great would a mimic with a cloak of displacement be? No. Have you ever heard of doing levels higher than 20? Yes. Have you ever done that? No. These are the easy questions. Oh, these questions are great. So just boom, 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 boom. Close-ended questions. No elaboration needed. Why don't you do more collaborations? Oh, why I don't do more collaborations. You really want to know why I don't do more collaborations? You want to know the cold, hard truth of why I don't do more collaborations? There are two reasons. One, it takes a lot more effort, tons more effort to do a collaboration than to just do my own thing. It is disproportionately more expensive time-wise to do a collaboration than it is to do my own thing. That's the first thing. It's a lot of work to do a collaboration. Second thing, some people who do collaborations, how do you put this? They're not very considerate of the fact that it's a lot of work to do a collaboration, and they sometimes screw you over on the collaboration. You might end up doing a lot of work on a collaboration, and then the person, let's say that, you know, the idea, here's the purpose of a collaboration. The purpose of a collaboration on YouTube or anywhere else is to share each other's audience. That's the purpose. Is to help get the other person some exposure. So I do a collaboration with this dude over here. You know, I'm on his channel a little bit, he's on my channel a little bit. The whole point is that we can get some like cross flow of our audience, right? That's the purpose of a collaboration, generally speaking. So some folks don't understand that that's the purpose, or they just don't implement it well. So I might, on my end, implement the collaboration in such a way to plug the other guy, tell other people about the other guy, to drive traffic to the other guy. But on their end, they don't do the same thing for me. They'll just not include the links, or they won't mention that and you'll just be like, what the crap, dude? You just screwed me. Like, I literally spent tons of time and effort on this collaboration. I plugged the crap out of you, sent people your way, and then on your end, you just stiffed me, dude. Why did I even do this? What was the point of doing this? So when you've done some collaborations, you start to see that happening, because here's the thing. Not everybody who's a content creator on YouTube understands these things, right? Some people are just making dumb videos and they get lucky, or they make funny dumb videos that people like and they grow really big, but they're not business minded. They don't understand some of these finer points of etiquette and stuff. And so they'll either, sometimes I think it's unintentional, but they'll just screw you over, and then you're just like, come on, dude, really? Come on, man. Why, dude? Why? You know, so when that happens to you a few times and you see that happening, and then you learn, you find out who some of these people are, and you understand, oh, this guy's really young, he's inexperienced, he hasn't lived in the world very long, he probably doesn't know what he's doing. Collaboration with him, you know, so you start to learn. So that's another reason you start to get very hesitant about these things, because you've learned the way that sometimes it works, and so you're very hesitant about it. So those are a couple of reasons. What's the other reason? There was one. Oh, also, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. I don't know. Those are a couple solid reasons, you know. And honestly, I don't know. I've done a few collaborations, and they haven't really seemed to make a big difference as far as hitting those metrics I talked about. And so it's kind of like, why am I gonna invest more time into something if it doesn't actually do anything beneficial? You know what I mean? So I'm not naming names. I'm not telling you who I'm talking about, you guys. That would be highly, highly unethical or bad. Now, I recently did a collaboration with the dungeon coach, and he's a good dude. And he and I both talked, and we understood, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. Okay, let's go. And so
Yeah, that was a very positive experience. Let's find another one here. Oh, let's do our cat strike. Let's do our cat strike. Cat strike time. Cat strike. Right there. Oh, I can hear cats coming downstairs. I can hear them. What's up, little guy? You want some of this? All right. We got some customers here. I want to open up the other one because that wasn't a whole lot. That was kind of like half of a strike. We want to make sure they get the appropriate amount for their strike. Oh, there's a freshness seal. There's a freshness seal. Oh yeah, that smells nice and fresh. My coffee. Yeah, I'll get more coffee too. All right, I got some more for you guys. That one was that was a kind of bad strike. Orange got scared. All right, I'll be back. Nice. Have I heard of 𝐑𝐄𝐒? Yes, that dude's awesome. 𝐑𝐄𝐒, he's a Twitch streamer and he has a YouTube channel too. Message deleted. Why was it deleted? Oh, was it? It was probably spam. He's really cool. He did an interview with Devin Nash too. He did 2 interviews with Devin Nash talking about D&D. Amazing, just amazing stuff. So yeah, that guy's awesome. Oh, who's Squeaky's in the box? Nice. Those cats need laser beams on their heads, dude. I have a laser. There's a laser machine back here. It turns on automatically every so often, and they'll run after it. All right, sweet. Quick reminder, folks. Go show some love for Stack Up. We're trying to raise as much money as we can in the month of May for these folks.
They are a 501c3 military charity, helps our veterans, mental health, suicide prevention, crisis intervention, does lots of awesome things for our active service members and veterans. So please go show some love and support these guys. All right. Oh, we have a giveaway going tonight too. We have a giveaway. So go sign up for the giveaway if you have not signed up for the giveaway. We're gonna give away three people are gonna win a back issue of Lair magazine. So we'll draw the winner to the giveaway tonight too. So go sign up for the giveaway too. Thank you. I mean, if you want a high quality professional grade Dungeon Master resources to reduce your prep time and improve the quality of your games, but if you don't want that, then whatever, it's free. I don't care. The giveaway is. Hey Scott, thank you for the super chat. £5. I think that's what the L means. The little L thing. New subscriber here. Your content is really helpful. If you were going to create a campaign inspired by Soviet Russia, how would you do it? I would read the crap out of Soviet Russia. That's my first thing. I would get a history book. And start learning about Russia and Soviet age Russia. And then as I'm reading it and getting inspired by it, I would be taking notes and thinking of ways to turn that into a D&D campaign. I would probably start doing some campaign planning. I would pick out some villains, some stat blocks for villains that could be the main bad guys. I would figure out how their society is formed, how the organization works. I would start fleshing out some campaign ideas based upon my research of Soviet Russia. That's how I would do it. That's the way to start it. And you just start fleshing things out, but that's where to start. So I hope that helps a little bit. Oh yeah, well, YouTube converted it to US dollars. That's why it says $6.94. All right. How to give players motivation to do certain quests and make them do stuff. There's really two things that motivate players. There are two things that motivate players. One, I mean, there are probably lots of things that motivate them, but one of them is money, rewards. They're mercenaries. So that's one thing to motivate them. That's how you motivate them to go on quests. The other thing is doing the right thing. Some players are motivated. Some characters are motivated to do the right thing. You can motivate them by that. There's another motivator too, which is, do you want to play the game? Like, do you want to go on a quest and play some D&D? So yeah, if you want to play the game, there's some quests over here that I created that you can go on. Yeah, you almost start to get into the social contract a little bit too, in the sense that the Dungeon Master is like, hello, I'm the DM. I have created an adventure for you to go play. And the players are like, hello, we are players. We have characters in this game world, and we created them to play the game. And oh, we see your adventure. We will go run your adventure. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dungeon Master, for taking the time to prepare that adventure for us. We know you didn't have to. We know that you could have just not done it, and then we would not be playing this game. But because you took the time to prepare that adventure for us, we, with our characters, will go on that adventure. That's part of the unspoken social contract, that players won't just give your adventures the middle finger. They'll actually go do the adventures. So there's always that. I prefer not to have that conversation with my players. Hopefully they get it, and hopefully they just understand that Luke spent time preparing something for the game. We should probably go do it. Honestly, if I had players who never wanted to go on any of the adventures I created, well, there's two things going on. One, maybe my adventures suck and I need to get better at making adventures. Maybe my plot hooks suck and I need to get better at delivering my plot hooks. Okay, there needs to be a reason. When you deliver a plot hook, there needs to be a reason to go on the adventure, something that motivates them, money, doing the right thing, etc. And there needs to be a clear next step. You need to clearly describe what the problem is, describe what the reward is, what the incentive is going to be, and then what's the next step? What do you have to do next to get them off in the right direction? So it's possible that if your players are ignoring your adventures, it's because you aren't delivering them well. And you need to work on that, or your adventures might suck and they don't want to go on them. So there's always room to improve. And so that's the thing too. But it could just be too that your players are just I don't know. If that's not the case, if you're delivering great plot hooks and your adventures are fun and your players are constantly just like, nope, not gonna do it. At that point, I'm gonna talk to my players and be like, yo guys, do you want to play D&D? Like, I spend time creating all these adventures and you don't want to go on them. What do you guys want to do? You guys want to play Risk? Want to play Axis and Allies? Like, I don't know, but Dungeons and Dragons doesn't seem to be working for us because you guys never want to go play the game. So what do you guys want to do here? At some point, you will reach the point where you need to like have that conversation. If your players constantly are just giving the middle finger to your adventures, because it's like, do you want to play the game? So anyway.
Paid Dungeon Master question. How do you keep it professional while keeping it fun? Well, they're not mutually exclusive at all. Like, so one of my groups is a paid group. They pay to play. And I mean, I don't really do anything different for that group than I do for my other group, in all honesty. Except that I know they're paying for it. And so I make sure that I got my crap together and I do a good job. And even if I don't feel like it, I still force myself to do a good job and run the game well, you know, even if I'm not in the mood or something. But it's always going to be fun because I'm still running the game the same fun, interesting way that I would normally run the game. I just, I have to make sure that I'm on my game. I have to do a really good job of it all the time, regardless of how I feel, because I'm getting paid for it. And that's where the professional aspect comes in. You know, making it professional means it's high quality, and it's always high quality. And even if you don't feel like it, you still do a good job at it. You know, you can't just be like, man, I don't feel like it today, guys. That doesn't work when they're paying you. You need to step up and do what you got to do because you're getting paid to do it. And I think that's where the professional comes in. Professional doesn't mean stiff and formal. That's not what professional means. If somebody comes to a game wanting to have fun and the dungeon master is stiff and formal, that might not work so well. I don't know. It might, but it probably might not either. So, I don't know. How many cats in Luke's Clouder? 7? Is that the answer? Do you want to play cats in cardboard boxes? I play that every day. What are my favorite 3 D&D books? Player Handbook, Monster Manual, and the Dungeon Master Guide. I don't know. Eberron is amazing. Eberron is absolutely hands down probably my favorite D&D 5th edition book. It is so good. It's such a good book. After that, I like the monster manuals because they have more monsters in them. Those are always useful to me. So yeah, I'll just go with monster manuals 2 and 3. Volo's Guide to Monsters, which is Monster Manual 2, and then Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, which is Monster Manual 3. See, they got all fancy in 5th edition. They're like, we're not going to call it Monster Manual 2 and Monster Manual 3. We got an idea we're going to use here. We're going to call it, we're going to call it Volo's Guide to Monsters. And then Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. Oh, we get snazzy in 5th edition. Yeah, so... What are your main house rules? I don't know. I have lots of little house rules, but there's nothing like big where it's like, this distinguishes my game from all other games. In essence, I run D&D 5th edition mostly by the way it's in the book. I have a few tiny tweaks here and there, but nothing that makes it materially different than out of the box, in my opinion. We're going to give it love, lore. Luke casually mocking the creators of D&D. Have you been to my live streams? Have you been to my live streams on Twitch? So you mentioned YouTube channel. What is the worst part of being a D&D YouTuber? The worst part of being a YouTuber? I don't know. I don't think about that stuff a lot. The worst part of being a YouTuber. I mean, what's the thing that I don't like? What's the thing that I don't like about it? What's going on over there? Don't throw up on the live stream. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Squeaky. Squeaky's like, let me help you think. Jeez, Squeaky. Stupid cats. welcome to the collaborations. I mean, I don't hate the collaborations, I just don't do them. There's nothing that stands out that I don't like about it. Well, that's the worst part about it, you know? I mean, you're always creating videos, you're scripting videos, you're thinking of new topics to talk about, you know, you're filming them, you're editing them. In my case, I pay someone to edit them. I used to edit all myself, and now I pay somebody, and he does an amazing job. So I'm very happy with that arrangement. And then, I mean, that's the core element of doing YouTube videos. That's the core element of it. It's just creating the videos, you know. There's a lot of other stuff that I do, lots of other stuff that I do that are part of my D&D business or whatever. You know, I do the videos and I create the Layer magazine, and then I had a Kickstarter into the Fae, and then I do the live streams, and then I have a website where I put free D&D resources for people to use in their games. What else do I do? So I do lots of different things, you know. Those aren't all, they're not all part of being the YouTuber. They're just additional things that I do as kind of like the whole package of all the different ways that I try to help the D&D community. You know what I mean? Actually, now that I was thinking about this, there is one thing that I hate about being a D&D YouTuber. There's one thing that really annoys the crap out of me. Really annoying to me. Companies that reach out to me that want to do sponsored videos that don't want to pay what it's actually worth. They want you to do sponsored videos for product. It's like, I don't want product. You don't pay me in product to do a sponsored video? Are you nuts? Like, no, dude. Like, do you go to like CBS or Fox or, you know, down the road? Do you go to your local TV station and be like, hey, we would like to put a commercial on your television show and we'd like to pay you in product? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. No, you don't do that. D&D YouTubers, they have an audience of people, and people could pay them to do a sponsored video to plug their product. Oftentimes to an endemic audience, you are plugging a D&D product or an RPG product to people watching a video that's about D&D or RPG. It's totally endemic audience, okay? They're there for your product. It's a perfect matchup. You can't do that at your local TV station. You can't get, well, kind of you can, but it's harder. That sort of targeted, focused advertisement to have somebody that is influential, you know, that has people's trust and stuff to sponsor your product, that has massive amounts of value. And there are lots of companies and just people in general that reach out to YouTubers and want them to do sponsored videos and stuff. And they don't value, they don't understand, either they don't understand the value that the YouTuber, or we'll call them an influencer, they don't understand the value that an influencer brings when they sponsor something or when they plug something, or they don't care and they just want to like screw them over. But I will say that it is not without reason that they do this, because most influencers, most YouTubers have no clue what they're worth.
They have no clue. They have no clue what to charge. So you get somebody like Jet Fuel or some energy drink that's like, hey, we'll give you $300 per video. And somebody's like, and they have no clue that they're worth more than that. You're worth $2,000 a video at least, or $3,000 or $5,000. You're not worth 300. You're worth 5,000, dude. You're worth 5,000. You have a young audience. Your entire audience drinks energy drinks, okay? And you get like, I don't know, 500,000 views on a video or something. It's like, you're worth crap tons of money. And the company knows that probably, but the influencer doesn't. And so they get taken advantage of by the company. And it's in part ignorance. It's lots of things going on there, but that's annoying to me. That's really annoying to me. So there is a reason I have very, very, very few sponsored videos on my channel. There is a reason for that. most people who reach out to me for sponsorships, the emails just get deleted. It's like, nope. Occasionally someone reaches out, it's like, potential. Okay. I go, and here's the other thing too. I don't sponsor just anything. I am very, very picky. In fact, I turned down somebody this morning. This morning, somebody was reaching out to me. They had a Kickstarter they were gonna do. And I took a look at their Kickstarter and I was like, nope. I am not gonna plug your Kickstarter to my folks, because I am only going to plug products that I believe in, that I think are quality, that are actually gonna help people, that aren't crap. And so I very closely scrutinize the different things that I plug. And if I don't think that they're up to snuff, I will not do it. I've turned down, there was this one company that wanted me to do a sponsored video on their miniatures. They were making miniatures, and the miniatures were not good miniatures. And they were trying to tell me, they're like, oh yeah, but our miniatures are very inexpensive. They're not that high quality, but they're very inexpensive. And I'm like, dude, I can get $1 miniatures on Reaper Bones, and yours are about $1 and they're garbage. So I turn lots of people down because I refuse to sponsor their products. That's one reason I don't have a lot of sponsored videos. I say no because I refuse to plug things that I don't believe in, that I don't think are good. That's the first reason. The second reason is most people don't want to pay you what you're worth. And so somebody will be like, I think what they're doing is good. And I'll be like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is pretty good. I'll send them my rate card, and then they'll like come back and they'll be like, whoa, or they won't even respond. You know what I mean? But it's just too high for them. And I'm just like, I don't work for peanuts, dude. Like, you need to pay me what I'm worth. You know, this is my rate card. This is what it is, you know? It's probably way higher than other people in the D&D niche, because most influencers don't know what they're worth and don't charge enough. And so they get my rate card and they're just like, wow, he's expensive. Let's go over to this guy over here who gets way more views on his videos because he charges half the price. And so they go put ads on his channel as opposed to mine, you know, which is fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. But there are products that I think are really good, like Describe. I had one video where they paid for a sponsored video, and then I have a few more coming up with Describe.com. But see, we vetted that company, we looked at their product, and we said, yes, this is a good product, this can help people, we like this, let's do something. You know, that's a totally different story. And the guys were like, okay, you know, we'll do a test video. And then guess what? They did a test video. I got amazing results for them. And then they bought 4 more, you know, because yes, I'm expensive, but guess what? You know, yeah, you get what you pay for. Sometimes you get what you pay for. So anyway, sorry, that was my little rant thing. A Papa John's sponsorship. Oh yes. Papa John's. I love how down to earth he is. I'm just honest. I'm honest. I do like very few other people do actually tell you the truth. Like this is not, these aren't things that other people don't know. They just don't talk about it. They won't talk about it, you know? I love how long-winded Luke is. Dude, I have a big mouth. This is what I do. I get paid to talk. It's like honest and down to earth are the same thing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. That's right. There are some questions I refuse to answer too, because I know that if I answer the question, I will be honest and it'll get me in trouble. So there are some questions I take a hard pass on when they come up in stream. I'm just like, can't talk about that. I will get myself in trouble. I already walked that line as it is. Could you go into how you run games without passives? Perception, investigation, and also insight. I use passive checks in my games, but really the only passive check that I use is a perception check. Passive perception check is what I use. And when it's contested by a stealth, that's when I use a passive, but that's it. That's the only time I use passive perception, is when somebody's trying to sneak up on somebody. Because if you ask them, like, could you give me a perception check? Out of the blue, they're like, why would you want a perception check? No reason. I just need a perception check, please. And they roll it and it's low. Thank you. And then the other players are like, whoa, what's going on around here? Why is the dungeon master asking for a perception check? My character is going to look around and see what I see. Okay, give me a perception check. Yeah, I'm gonna do it too. Okay, give me a perception check. And then they roll, it's like high, and the dungeon master's like, oh yeah, you guys all noticed some monsters sneaking up on you. It's like, you give it all away. It's totally, obviously that's metagaming, but you know, yeah. So everything else you have to declare for. If you want to look for traps, you have to declare it, and then you get to roll. If you're looking for secret doors, you declare it, and then you roll. If you're investigating the wall to see how this rune works, you declare it, and then you roll. So yeah, I don't do passive insight. If you want to try to get a feel for a dude, if he's lying to you or not, tell me. I'm not just gonna be sitting there while you're just like, and the dungeon master's checking things. Oh, by the way, according to your passive insight, that guy's lying. Oh, dude, at some point the player's got to play the game and talk and say they're doing stuff. Not just have the dungeon master running everything through passives. You know? Gosh, dungeon masters do enough work without having to like check all the passives on everything, man. So I don't do that. What would we want to do? The dog pile, yeah. Though this is my simple solution for dogpiling on dice. Group checks. Essentially, if one person's like, oh, I want to look for secret doors, and then other people want to do it too, the one person rolls with advantage. And that assumes that everybody in the group is helping to look for secret doors. And they roll with advantage. And that's it. So we don't have like 5 different rolls, which you're guaranteed with 5 rolls to get one that's high. And then the barbarian, I don't know how it happened, but the barbarian just knows what that spell is. Just crazy, right? No, it's called chance luck on rolling dice. So yeah, if instead of dogpiling, just one person rolls with advantage. Boom, you're done. It's the easiest way to do that. What do you do when players want to fight everything in the dungeon? Let them. A case in point was the Mind Flayer in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. You let them fight it. It's a monster. Wizards of the Coast, in their infinite geniusness, put a Mind Flayer and an Intellect Devourer in a level 1 adventure. So if your players run across that, let them fight it. Don't stop them. Let them fight it. And then when they die and they TPK and they're just like, eh, they're crying in a corner, you can just pass along, you know, some folks over at Wizards Twitter handles, you know, so they can be like, why did you kill my character? You know, or you can give them their email address or something. Why did you kill my character? I don't know. If they want to fight it, let them fight it. I'm not gonna anything. I sometimes put crazy stuff in front of my players that probably are way too hard for them. If they want to fight it, they can fight it. I'm not gonna try to stop them. They want to fight everything, they can fight everything. Get the salt shaker. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What are your thoughts on big bads having a second phase at a certain condition? Yeah, it's good. I like it. I've done that before. It's cool. How do you, there's actually, if you look, there's a website called the Angry GM, and he has a couple blog posts about that exact same thing, where you have different phases to a monster. You can, I don't know what the name of it is. You'll have to search for it. It was a long time ago that I read it. It's a really good idea, a really good system. You have to deal with 5,000 words when 500 would have sufficed. But you can get to it, and it's really good. It's a good read too. I mean, he's very long-winded, just like me, but it's entertaining too. But he's got some really good information over there. I haven't read his stuff in a long time, but when I first started running 5th edition, I read a lot of his articles on his blog post. Have you heard of the Illrigger class? Yes. And which subclass would you use and like the most? Nope, I haven't heard that much about it. I've just heard about it. Nadoku, how do you implant a plot hook for a side quest without giving the impression of how convenient? You don't. You just roll with it. It's life. Your players know the plot hook when they see it. Your players know a side quest when they see it. I have my Curse of Strahd players make fun of how many quests they have. It's like, oh, just add that to the quest log. They have like 10 quests that I've given them that they could go do. You know, I don't try to hide it. It's like at some point, you know, you're playing a game and you're just going to recognize those things. And it is what it is. This is the game, you guys. I'm going to give you quests and I'm going to give you side quests. That's the game. I'm not going to try to go to too much trouble to hide it and disguise it because it's not worth my time. My players are going to probably recognize it anyway. You know what I mean? And who cares if they recognize it? It's the game. They'll be like, well, you know, it's crazy. No matter what happens, like every fight we get into, we win. We win all of these fights. We fought a dragon and we won. It's crazy. We've played this whole, we're level 12 now, and we keep on winning all of these battles. Wow, this is convenient. How is that? No, it's a game. At some point, you can't evade the fact that you're playing a game, and it's not worth trying. You know, you have to embrace all aspects of it. You have to embrace the game aspect of it, and you have to embrace the role-playing aspect of it. Both of those things live in harmony together. You know, you don't eschew one of them. They're both together and they coexist, and it's fine. How do you feel about intelligence-based warlocks? I don't think they exist, do they? They're all charisma-based. I don't think it's actually a thing, is it? So it's like, okay, let's just start making your primary skills whatever you want them to be. It sounds like something that min-maxers would just have a field day with. What other games or systems interest you? Call of Cthulhu. I love Call of Cthulhu. I've only played it a few times. Every single time I've played it has been a blast. So there's homebrew for it. Oh, is there? There's homebrew. Yeah. Well, it might be fun. It might be cool. But it's going down that road, you know, of your stats don't matter at all. You could be a strength-based wizard if you want to, and your spells are dependent upon your strength. So it's like, it's a slippery slope to everything becoming homogenous and having no meaning whatsoever. So does it make sense that a warlock could be intelligence-based? Sure. Warlock could be wisdom-based. A cleric could be intelligence-based. You know, a fighter could be dexterity-based. you could make an argument for probably anything. Again, it goes back to the point of it's a game too. It's a game, right? And there need to be mechanics and rules and stuff around the game. At what point do you just dispense with everything, not have a character sheet at all, and just be like, well, you can do anything you want? So yeah, I'm not gonna tell you how to play your game, but I think my stance is pretty clear. I like there to be certain rules and limits and things. Yeah, I don't know. First edition wizards usually went with high strength. Really? Probably because first edition wizards sucked so bad at the early levels. They had to swing swords. They had like what, one spell? It's like one spell and I'm done. At that point, you have to attack with a weapon, right? It's a slippery slope back to 4th E. Yeah, where everything is homogenous. Everything is the same. Everything is the same. Whether you're a wizard, a fighter, or a cleric, you all have certain powers, certain number of uses of them, and they're all more or less the same potency. So it doesn't really matter what you play, does it? Nah, it's all the same. Yeah, you go back to that route. Oh, to carry loot and torches? Oh, really? Interesting. I've played like first edition and stuff like that, like I think one time at a convention. I loved it. It was amazing. The guy I ran it for, the guy that ran that adventure for us, what is his name? Larry Hamilton is his name. He actually has a YouTube channel called something follow us and die or something. Follow me and die. I forget. It's a small YouTube channel. But he ran that game and I had tons of fun. He ran a first edition game, and then he ran like an AD&D game or something. He ran like the original version of it too. It was really, really cool. Gygax has gone on record saying he hated wizards. Oh, really? That's interesting. I love playing the older editions, dude. I love it. I love the gritty nature of it. I love how imperfect it is. I love how rough the rules are, you know. It just has this like very cool, like old school vibe to it that just appeals to me. I don't know. I like it. I don't know to what extent I would enjoy playing a long-term campaign using the early rules. As going to a convention and playing it and just having fun, awesome. I would have to actually do a long-term campaign to see if I like it long-term. I don't know, but there's a certain level that they appeal to me. Have you implemented a sanity stat and madness in your RPGs before? Gonna run a campaign tomorrow and would love to get tips. I have. I'll bring it up on screen and show you the system that I use. I don't know that I'm 100%. We don't use it a whole lot. It's for my Curse of Strahd game. Let's see. House rules, other stuff. Lingering injury, sanity points. Here we go. So this is the sanity system. I think Goliath Cleric made this for us. I'm not gonna go over this a whole lot. I'm just gonna put it on screen here, and then I'm gonna blow it up and I'm gonna scroll it, and then you can like come back and watch this later if you want to like just jot it down or something. So just copy this and use it if you want to. I'm just gonna do a little scroll here, and then you can come back later and write it down if you want. But this is the system that we're using. Oh, there's another table. Okay. I'm gonna keep scrolling. We don't use it a whole lot. It doesn't come up a whole lot. And then I have an old system that I don't use anymore. So there you go. You can go back and grab that sucker. I don't use it a whole lot, It's not that I don't like the system itself. I don't like the extra baggage that more systems add to the game. You know, like the core of 5th edition is pretty cool, and I like the way it works. And every time you add another system onto the game, another thing you got to do, another thing here, there's always a certain amount of bog that it adds to the game. It slows things down. You know, every rule system that you add inflates that bog and slows things down a little bit. You know, so it's like there's a balance. You know, at what point is the added benefit of the rule system worth it to justify the slowdown, the bog? You know, and I don't know. I'd rather just run a smooth, streamlined, quick game without a whole bunch of extra rule systems that slow things down. So I tend not to be a big fan of adding extra rules and other things on because it just slows things down. What do you think about reoccurring enemies or bosses? They could be really cool if you can manage to pull it off. It is very, very difficult to get a boss to escape unless you're using like plot armor or shenanigans. I've tried to almost every time I try to have bosses escape, they fail, except for a couple that had either plane shift or could travel to the ethereal plane as an action. Those guys escaping was fairly easy to do, but usually it's hard to get people to escape. Is it important that my players take notes? Look, most players don't take notes. Many players forget everything. Is it required? No. Would it be helpful for them? Yeah. Would it make the game a little smoother for you? Maybe. Is it important? It's a moot point. It really doesn't matter whether it's important, it doesn't really matter. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. If they're not going to do it, they're not going to do it. You know, they're there to play the game, not to work. So if you like try to implement some sort of like note-taking requirement or something, you know, good luck. They're, you know, if they're at a job and you're their boss, you can make them do things. That's your prerogative as their boss. But it's a D&D game. So if they take notes, they take notes. If they don't, they don't. And if they don't, then, you know, maybe they'll forget something important and it'll come to bite them. Who knows? How do you feel about the custom legacy options in Tasha's Cauldron? What are the custom legacy options? I forget which ones those were. Custom legacy? What the heck is the custom legacy? I use almost nothing from this book, by the way. The look on my face should tell you why. I have customizing your origin. Is that what we meant? Customizing your origin? Custom lineage? No. I don't use custom lineage. That's garbage. That's the one, right? Yeah. No. Almost all of the customizing your origin stuff in Tasha's I don't use at all. I don't use that stuff. Yeah, if you're a dungeon master, you don't need Tasha's. Is there anything of value in Tasha's for a dungeon master, in my opinion? The sidekick system is pretty cool. I like the sidekick system if you're going to use that. There are some puzzles in here that might be useful if you run puzzles. Some of the spells are good. I like how they did the new summon spells. I like how the summon spells are, where you get one summon as opposed to lots of them. It helps the dungeon master a lot. There are some cool magic items in here if you want to introduce them into your game. But all of the character options, almost all of the character options, scrutinize them, study them. Many of them are unbalanced, very unbalanced and very powerful. So use your brain, review them before allowing them in your game is what I would say. So yeah, there's some stuff in here that actually I have actually used some of the magic items out of here. Yeah, I've used some of the magic items in my game out of here. Oh, Dan Bear, what up, Dan? A mimic colony. Oh yeah, wasn't there was a mimic colony in there? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, well, players will love the new classes and subclasses because they're super powerful. Players will always love that stuff. That's why Wizards does that, to incentivize them to buy the book. How do you feel about players wanting mounts in your game? I don't have a problem with that. Go buy some mounts. Go buy some horses. That's fine. And then you get to figure out what you do with them when you go into the dungeon. And when you're fighting on horseback and you're wearing plate armor and the enemy discovers that it's easier to hit your horse than to hit you and they kill your horse. I have no problem with players getting mounts. I will just, my game world will act like a real world. And when you're in heavy plate armor, if your horse isn't wearing plate armor, I'm gonna attack your horse and drop you to the ground and get rid of your horse. I had players once who had flying mounts. They had hippogriffs. It was hippogriffs or no? It was hippogriffs. They had hippogriffs. And they could all fly at like level 5 or something on these hippogriffs. And they discovered very quickly that enemies shoot their mounts. Why wouldn't you? Unless you wanted to capture the hippogriff. But when you're on the ground and people are up here beating the crap out of you, they're wearing heavy armor and the hippogriffs are not, guess what you do? You shoot the hippogriffs and you drop them out of the air. It got to a point where only one of the players had a hippogriff. And he took very, very good care of that hippogriff. Made sure nobody harmed him, kept him in his stables. He almost never had the hippogriff with him on an adventure. He would let the hippogriff stay in town, and he'd pay a stable person to take care of it and stuff while they were out adventuring, so that it wouldn't die. Yes, the Cavalier Fighter is very good for mounts. I have a player right now who is the Cavalier Fighter, and it kind of makes it so you can't target their mount. Ooh. How do you react as a DM to one of your players always saying, "I don't know what is going on," and then asking them what they would like to do? If the player doesn't know what's going on, I would want to know why they don't know what's going on. Are you not paying attention? Are you on your phone? Put your phone down, dude. Like, why would they not know what's going on? Am I not being clear in my descriptions? Like, was there something confusing or something? Or was there something you didn't understand? Like, if they weren't paying attention because they're on their phone or some horse crap, well, then that's a different thing, right? That's a different thing. But if they just legitimately don't understand what's going on in the game, then I'll probably clarify things to help them understand. Yeah, because I want them to understand. But if they're on their phone or something, I'll be like, well, there's a reason you don't know what's going on, dude. That phone right there. And then we'll keep playing the game. I'll probably just leave them with that. Depending on how I feel. What's my gripe with Tasha's player options? It's power creep, 100%, yeah. It's the standard power creep that they always put into these books. You know, so here's what's going on, basically. Wizards is a company. They want you to buy their books. They have been doing this a while. They know what incentivizes consumers to buy products. They know what will make people buy new character options and buy new books because it's more powerful. You're gonna have a more powerful character. That's a big incentive for many players. Now there are some players who don't care about that and they just want flavor and they just want new options. Well then we're selling to them because we're giving you new options. But for the people who are incentivized by power, well, now we're selling to them because they're, especially if you're in something like Adventurers League, you know, and once a book comes out, it's gospel now, and you can play anything in that book, and then boom, everybody now just got more power because you got to play by these rules in the Adventurers League and stuff like that, you know. So the power creep happens. It's an intentional thing that they do, 100% intentional to sell books. It is. Now, they don't say that explicitly. They couch that in languages. Like they'll say things like, literally one of the developers said something along the lines of, we want players to be excited about the books. We want them to be excited about the books, or we want there to be things in the books that they would be interested in playing or something like that. Yeah. You can do that without making them super powerful. You realize that, right? So it's intentional. It's also, it's probably all, this is a little bit more like, I'm not sure, but part of me is also wondering, to what extent do you do that power creep intentionally to break the game, to then be able to justify 6th edition? You know, once we've released enough splat books and things that have caused the power creep and all the different combos, and now the game becomes broken and messed up and doesn't work anymore because we keep on releasing this stuff. Oh, that justifies another edition. It helps to justify another edition. So I don't know if that's intentional or not. That's just me thinking, you know, but making things more powerful, power creeping to sell more books, that's a thing. 100%. That's intentional. No doubt about that. What gives you more joy at the moment, being a DM or a player, and why? Being a dungeon master is always going to be more satisfying to me. If I'm a player, being a player can be very fun for me. It can be very fun for me. My problem is that if the dungeon master isn't very good, it's very hard for me to enjoy myself. If the dungeon master is just not running a good game, like I can't enjoy it. I'm just sitting there the whole time. I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're doing such a bad job. You shouldn't be doing that, this and the other thing. You know what I mean? Like my brain is just like looking at all the things they're doing and knowing and like kind of auto correcting it in my head, and I can't enjoy it, you know? And then the thought will go through my mind, oh man, I could run this game so much better. Oh, I should just be running the game. Why am I a player? I should just be running the game. You know, so, but, you got a good dungeon master, then I have fun, and then I enjoy myself, you know, and then it's lots of fun. I love not having to prepare anything from time to time, and just being able to show up and roll dice and kill crap, you know. That's enjoyable to me too, you know, from time to time, but it can also get very boring to me. The one of the things I like about being a dungeon master is that I'm always playing the game. Always. A player is saying stuff, I am adjudicating. The players are having a conversation, talking about their planning. I'm deciding in my head, well, if they do that, how will the monsters react? What would the monsters do? I'm not trying to shortcut their planning. I'm not trying to foil their planning. I'm merely thinking, if they do that, how will my game world react? Right? I'm not trying to screw them. I'm just thinking, how would I roleplay things if they do that thing? And so no matter what's going on in the game, my brain is always engaged, and I'm always thinking, and I'm always preparing for something, you know? And so it's just more fun. There's more variety to it. Being a dungeon master, I don't have to, I'm not just playing one character that I get bored with after 2 game sessions. I get to play new monsters every single game. How cool is that? Brand new monsters all the time. I don't get bored. You know, it's just, there are so many things that appeal to it way more than being a player. We get bored as a player very easily. There are sometimes I'm playing in games and I'm like falling asleep in my chair because it's just not engaging enough to me, you know. it's not, it could in part be failings on the dungeon master, but not necessarily. It's just not as fun. Once you, it's like once you've done something that's crazy fun, you know, and then you're doing something that's not, it's like, dude, this is the gold standard. I want to do the thing that's awesome. And so if I have tons of fun doing one thing and then something else isn't quite as satisfying, I'm always going to be thinking I would rather be doing this thing, you know, even if it's still a good game, you know, you like the other thing better. You like being a dungeon master more. Yeah, that's true. Style is a consideration as well. So the dungeon master might not necessarily be a bad dungeon master, but not running the type of game that I feel that I'm interested in. And so, yeah, it's a different style of game. Yeah. What is my cat doing? Squirty Pie. What is that? Orange. What are you doing? What are you doing? My cat Orange is just going crazy. He's got the zoomies. What's going on, buddy? He was just zipping around the place, running around. He's got the zoomies, man. I loved being a player until I started DMing twice a week. Yeah. How do I stop people from eating goblins and everything they kill? I have a better question. Why would you want to? How do you feel about players who never sleep before games, but show up to every one? My players' personal lifestyle choices aren't really my business. If they're at the game and they contribute positively to the game, then I'm pretty cool with that. But what they do on their own time is their own time. I'm gonna change my exposure on my camera. It's starting to get wacky. Yeah, hot second here. Oops. Go down to -6 right there. There we go. That's better. All right, cool. That looks a little bit better now. What do you think about phones or tech on the table? As long as it's not a problem, I don't care. I have players who have, one player when we're in person brings a laptop because he uses D&D Beyond and he has everything on his laptop. And is he going to non-D&D stuff on his laptop during the game? If he is, I can't tell because he's engaged, he's paying attention, and he's playing the game, so I don't care. I have other players who have their phones and they'll look at their phones from time to time. Are they on Facebook or something else? Probably. You know, they might also be looking up something on D&D. I don't know. But as long as they're paying attention and they're engaged in the game, and I don't have to repeat myself, and it's not a problem, I just don't care. Because there are so many, there are lots of cool things you can get on your phones and laptops and stuff that will help you play the game. So I'm not going to be like, no phones. I'm not going to do that, man. Because it impedes them from using tools that are very useful, you know. But if it's a problem, if they're not paying attention, well then yeah, now we got to talk about that because that's not going to work. I think I already hit that one. I hit that one. What's your take on rolling for character stats? I hate it because I can create OP and or useless characters. Some of my players insist on it. Any tips? Okay, well, first of all, you're the dungeon master, so your players, your rules are your rules. You know, if you don't roll for stats, you don't roll for stats. Like, I don't roll for stats. I use point buy system. That's the way I do it. If I have a player a new player who's like, yeah, I always roll for my stats. It's like, no, not in my game. You don't. You use point buy because I'm the dungeon master. That's how I run my game. I don't care what you want. I mean, I do, but not in this case. Like, this is how we do it. And I agree. Here's the thing: rolling for stats, statistically leads to slightly higher results. So your characters are going to be a little bit more powerful. If you're using like 46, drop the lowest, and then arrange any order you want. Point buy, and then you could have some players who have really good rolls, other players who have really sucky rolls, which I've learned, obviously. Point buy, however, gives everyone a level playing ground. Everybody has the same amount of points. You can put them where you want. You can create your character how you want. Everybody has the same level of power insofar as stats go, which is why I like point buy. Point buy also makes it really easy to create backup characters. I don't have to see you roll your dice. You can just go create it with the point buy and we're good to go. So there are lots of reasons I like point buy, and I've just settled into using point buy. And I don't. Here's the thing. When I am a player, I enjoy rolling the dice to make my character because I have a chance of getting better dice rolls and having a really cool character. When I am a dungeon master, I want point buy. There's separate motivations and desires. The dungeon master oftentimes wants one thing and players want something else. You know, just the way it works. Yeah, I use standard 27 point buy system. Should you use horror suspense elements to get your PC's attention? Is it a moral question? I mean, you can if you want to. You can do lots of things to get their attention. That's one of them, probably. How would you do that? Think of something that's horrific or suspenseful and then implement it into the game. Create, implement. Those are the two steps. Sorry if that seems like a crappy answer, but that's the answer. You think of something and then you do it. Nathan, son of the South, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. I agree the new books definitely have power creep, but I look back at the player handbook and read the Totem Warrior Barbarians Bear Totem. They can get level 3. Yeah, it's good. The Barbarian Bear Totem is very good. You get immunity to, when you're raging, immunity to everything except for psychic damage. Paladin's a very powerful class too. I agree with you. Those are good options. But the ancestral spirits, barbarian ancestral spirits, that's a subclass that's been outlawed in my games because of how broken it is. And we're out of coffee. Boom. I think it's time to do our cat trip. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have right here 100% pure cat crack. It's also known as catnip, and we're gonna do a little strike here for my wonderful cats, and then I'll get some more coffee too. All right, Squeaky. All right, we have here the banana and the happy carrot. We're gonna get these two guys loaded up with catnip and get my cats going. Squeaky. Squeaky. There you go. There's one. And we get the happy carrot. Happy carrot. All right. I will be back in a hot second. Matt, I see your question. I'll get that in one moment. I'm gonna go get some coffee bio. I'll be right back. What are you doing with the banana? What are you doing with the banana? Orange got scared. They love that happy carrot. The pasta babies. Oh yeah, that's one. That's ravioli. Yeah. How do you handle if the players ask about important information they didn't take notes on? If the information is critical to the quest, to the game, I'll give them the information, because I'm not gonna just be like, I'm sorry you didn't take notes, too bad, and then have them struggle through something and have it negatively impact the game. So if it's something important, I'm gonna tell them. If it's something that's not that important, like if there was an NPC whose name they forgot and it's not that impactful, but it does have some negative consequences, I'm not gonna tell them. That's their problem. So it really depends on how important I feel it is, what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna impede the game by just being stingy with information. Squeaky's loving that carrot. He's like, I love my carrot. What is your opinion on the best class to play? Paladin is very, very powerful. If that's what if your definition of best is powerful, Paladin. If your definition of best is what I have the most fun playing, then that could be anything. I personally love rogues. Rogues are so fun. I love rogues. They have good damage output. They have social skills. They have exploration skills. They have utility skills, opening locks, searching, traps. Rogues are so fun to play. There's never a part of the game that as a rogue you can't engage with and play the game. You know what I mean? You're always doing stuff that's useful to the party, no matter what situation you're in. So I love rogues. Tons of fun. How would you make an investigation last for multiple sessions? You just plan a long investigation with multiple scenes. Different scenes, different clues that have to be found that inexorably lead them closer and closer to finding out what happened. So it's the same. How do you make a longer dungeon? You add more rooms to it. That's all there is to it. Every scene, every clue in an investigation is a room in the dungeon. If you want a longer dungeon, you add more rooms. Oh, I had a super chat. Let's do that. Thank you, moderators. My moderators are awesome. I love my moderators. This is Matt's $10 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it. What is your opinion, or how do you have a conversation with the DM that has the motto, because I'm the dungeon master, that's why, when it comes to all their rulings, fair or unfair? Can you even have a conversation with a person like that? That's my bigger question. Like, where do you even have a conversation? By saying, because I'm the dungeon master, that's why. By saying that, and it depends on the tone and the manner in which they say it, so I'm assuming a few things. But by establishing that it's my way because I'm the dungeon master and that's all I care about, I don't care about your reasoning or your arguments or anything to that. Like, they're already establishing that they are an unreasonable person, that they don't listen to logic, that they can't be swayed, that you can't persuade them one way or another. They've already established that. So how do you even have a conversation with them when they've already demonstrated to you that they won't listen to you and they don't care what you have to say? So how do you even start that conversation with a person like that? I don't know. I mean, You got two options. One option is probably the higher road, which I should probably recommend because that's what you should do, is to try to talk to them and be like, listen, man, like you're constantly laying down these rulings using the reasoning of you're the dungeon master, but you don't listen to any of us. Like you just ignore what we have to say. You won't listen to reason or logic or anything. It's like you don't even care what we think or how we feel, you know, and that doesn't make us feel very happy about things. So you could try to talk with them and explain to them your point of view and how that position they're taking affects you as a player. And hopefully they can come around and understand that, oh, this is probably not a good way to treat people. And it's not a question of running the game. It's a question of how you treat people. Like, are you listening to them? Are you acknowledging their thoughts and perspectives and feelings? Or are you just, I don't care what you have to say, I'm the dungeon master and that's why. Like, it's less of a question of like a style as a dungeon master. It's more of a question of you as a human being. Do you acknowledge other people's existence and care about them? Or do you just want to stuff it to them and do things your way because you're the most important person on this earth and that's all you care about? So, so you can try to have that conversation, right? Yeah. So that's probably what you should do. That's probably the responsible, mature thing to do. The other thing you could do is find a different dungeon master who doesn't treat people that way too. That's another option, I suppose. Orange is having, oh my gosh, look at him. He's like, oh, look at my bald belly. I got a bald belly. We're shaming. Oh, he's gonna roll. But Orange, what are you doing? I gotta lick my butt. Okay, that's no longer appropriate. Thank you, Orange, for getting us demonetized. So Matt, I don't know if I helped you, but I gave you an answer. How do you deal with players that won't accept DM rulings? This is like the opposite of that question right there. Oh man. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, this is perfect. This is like the total opposite of it. So on the one hand, you have the dungeon master who's like, it's my way or the highway. Shut up and take it. And then the players are just like, yes, sir. We're gonna get some more, right? Yeah. And then on the other hand, you have the player when a player won't accept a ruling. And so I've had this happen. When the player won't accept a ruling, so my game tables, how I do it. Something comes up and I'll be like, well, you know, this is what I think. And then a player might be like, well, you know, have you considered this? What about this? Or blah, 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 blah. They'll present their case. I will listen to their case. I will consider their case, and then I will make a ruling. Sometimes I am swayed by their case, and I will rule in their favor. Other times I am not, and I do not rule in their favor. But I listen to them, I acknowledge their point of view, I try to be fair. If it makes sense and is reasonable and is logical and does not have ulterior motives, sometimes there are ulterior motives and you gotta be wise to them, then I will rule in their favor and we'll move on. If I don't agree with their logic and I feel differently, I won't rule in their favor. I'll make a different ruling and then we'll move on. The expectation is that after I have made a ruling, we move on and we play the game. Occasionally, you get a player that's not good enough for them. It's not good enough that I acknowledged your thoughts and your perspectives and your feelings, listened to you, mirrored them back a little bit to show that I understood what you were saying, and then made a ruling and explained to you my logic and why I was making that ruling, even though it wasn't what you wanted. That's not enough to them. They're not satisfied with that. What that player has to do, they have to keep on arguing with you. So it's like, okay, a quick little conversation and a ruling has now turned into a big rules argument with a player who just won't let it go. Players, when they do that, they're bringing the entire game down. Nobody else at that game table, almost none of the other players, I guarantee you, want to have this big rules argument in the middle of their game. They really just want to go kill monsters and eat nachos and eat pizza, you know, and that's all they really care about. All right. They don't want to have this massive rules discussion. This one player does. And so they get into this argument, they get into this discussion, it brings the table down, the tension can be felt. People are not at ease because there's this discussion going on, and we know how most people who have played the game know exactly what this is. This has happened before. The player won't let it go, and they turn into a big argument. And the dungeon master's like, dude, I made my ruling, man, let it go. No, blah, 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 blah. And they keep dragging it on. So how do you deal with a player who won't accept a DM ruling? Very, very simply. Whoa, hold on. No. You don't understand. I've made my ruling. I'm done. I'm not changing my mind. No, you don't understand. It doesn't matter what you have to say. You're rehashing the same argument you gave me the first time. I listened to it. I disagree. I'm making a different ruling. This is what we're gonna do for now. That's the way it's gonna be. You need to stop arguing. It's not gonna help your case. You continuing to argue is actually just pissing me off more and making my dig my heels in even more. You have now, it's one thing to plead your case, right? It is another thing, once I've made a ruling, to then argue with me. I have no tolerance for that. You're pissing me off. You're ruining this game for everybody else, and it needs to stop. Okay? Like, that's what needs to happen right here, because I've made my ruling. And nobody here wants to sit here and have a rules discussion. So once I've made my decision, we need to move on. Now, if that's not good enough for you, and if that's a showstopper for you, well, then you can go walk right out that door, because this isn't the way this game's gonna work. We're not gonna do this every week where I make a ruling and then you argue with me. We're not doing this every week. Either you're going to be satisfied with me listening to you and then making what I think is a fair ruling, or you're going to be satisfied with walking out that door, because you are not going to have these rule arguments with me every single week over things. It's not going to happen. Okay. I've only removed 2 players from my games over the years. Both of them were removed in large part because of having these sorts of arguments with me. I have no tolerance for that crap. Nobody is benefited by those sorts of arguments. So I've removed 2 players. Not only because of rules arguments, but they were a large contributing factor for being removed from the games. So I have no tolerance for that. It pisses me off. It makes my game unenjoyable. It makes the other players' games unenjoyable. You are not helping anybody by having those rules discussions, and it needs to stop. If that's not good enough for you, if it has to be your way or the highway, well then I don't know. You should go become a dungeon master or something, because then you can get your way. And then we're back to the first question, which is when a dungeon master won't listen to you and it's his way or the highway. So every dungeon master who is the dungeon master who won't listen to you and it's his way or the highway, that dungeon master used to be a rules lawyer who would argue with other dungeon masters until they finally got kicked out of all of their games and then became dungeon masters themselves. So we have come full circle here. Have a nice day. Yeah, Theodore, at some point you have to say, because I'm the DM, that's why. But there's a big difference. There's a big difference between listening to players and then making a decision, and kind of just ignoring them and making a decision. I don't always rule in favor of what my players want. Ask any of my players. I don't always rule in favor of them, but I always listen to them, and I often do rule in their favor, but I always listen to them. Sometimes they make logical arguments and I go with them. Other times they don't, and I do it my way. And if they have a problem with that, I'm the dungeon master. But there's a totally different attitude and approach to that, what I just described, than a dungeon master who won't listen to the players and ignores them and just does it his way every time. So there's a difference there. It's a difference of attitude. It's a difference of approach. Like, I know what the difference is, and I hope that makes sense. All right, that goes right there. Ooh. Is Layer Magazine only available to patrons? Yes and no. So only my patrons get the most recent issues that come out. So you have to be a patron to get the issues of Layer Magazine. However, you can get the back issues over on my store. I have the DM Layer store. I think if you type in !store, it might come up. I'm not sure. I might not have that set up. Let's see. Did it work? Store. I probably need to set that up. Oh, yep, there it is. Yep, there it is. So there are links now in the chat to my Patreon where you can become a patron and get all of the issues as they come out of the Layer Magazine. And there's also a link right there to my DM Layer store on Shopify. You can get back issues of Layer Magazine on the store. So like right now, I think we have like issues 1, 2, and 3 are on the store and you can purchase them. But issues 4 and 5 are currently only available to my patrons. So as like the issues get older, they'll go over to the store. But if you want the most current stuff, you got to become a patron. That's the way it works. Which is a very convenient moment to remind folks of the giveaway that we're doing. Yay! Yeah, we're doing a giveaway tonight. 3 people will get a back issue of Layer Magazine. So click that link right there. You can sign up for it. There's a giveaway there somewhere. Yeah, thank you, 𝐑𝐄𝐒𝐿, so go sign up for the giveaway. It's really cool. It's so high quality. We have amazing maps too for virtual tabletop use that you guys get. You get the image files, so it makes running on virtual tabletops way easier. Like if you buy this or one of these normal modules, you don't get the maps with it. So you have to figure that out on your own or buy it separately. Also want to take a moment here to encourage you guys to go donate to StackUp. In the month of May, my goal is to raise $5,000 for StackUp. These guys are a 501c3 military charity that does a lot of awesome stuff for our veterans and active service members. So if you want to help support our military and all the awesome things that they do for our country, you can go to StackUp, donate a little something. They help with mental health issues. They have like a suicide and intervention crisis hotline that people can call 24/7. They do lots of amazing stuff. So please go show some love and support to StackUp. We've already had tonight, Ambers has donated. She is our top donator, I think, today. Yeah, for $250. Holy crap, that's amazing. And then we also had, did 𝐑𝐄𝐿, did you give, wait, hold on a second. 𝐑𝐄𝐿, you gave like $100, but was that was the first time? Okay, I thought you had given another $100. I was like, wow, this guy's awesome. Oh, by the way, that reminds me. I owe. When you donate, there are like milestones that when we reach certain milestones, all donors will get certain rewards and stuff. But also there are incentives, and somebody just, well, a little bit ago, their incentive is to, Luke dances and sings I'm a Little Teapot. So I have to dance and sing I'm a Little Teapot. So I'm gonna do that right now. This is like the second time on stream now that I've had to do this.
Squeaky cheese. Cheese squeaky.
All right, here we go. Get ready for this. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. Tip me over and pour me out. Woo-wee. There you go. This is my amazing singing voice.
I am the world's worst singer and also simultaneously the world's worst dancer. Facts. Hey! Oh dear. Ninja Master. I'm gonna go with Ninja Master for your name. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, people message me all over the place everywhere, and it is very, very hard for me to respond. So yeah, I can't be everywhere. But you have now gotten a message through to me. So let's see. Do you have any tips on ways to keep party and story momentum after session 1 without setting a taxing precedent that will drive me to become gray before my time? I don't do anything. So my players engage with the game at their own pace, and they do things at their own pace, and I usually don't rush them. So if we're talking about momentum, my players they'll take as long as they take on a quest. Now, I'm not going to influence that. If we're talking about me as a dungeon master, when I'm designing the game itself and I'm designing the quests they're going to go on, momentum is just having new quests that I make with plot hooks that have to do with the same story. So when they get done with the one quest, they get a plot hook for the next quest, and then they just keep on doing quests. So you're just constantly introducing to them the next quest with a new plot hook that then keeps the story going. And when you're designing the adventures in the campaign, you need to think about like, you know, rising action and climax and where you're trying to go with things. So if there's a big bad, you want there to be little lieutenants that they're going to encounter. You want there to be things happening in the game where the big bad is influencing. They have to go fix those things. But slowly over the course of the campaign, they're working their way up, getting closer to actually getting and fighting the big bad. So the lieutenants might get more powerful. They might be getting closer to his physical location. So you want to keep in mind the bigger picture of where the campaign is going, and then you design the adventures so that they inexorably lead to the big bad, you know? So that's adventure design, right? And then you link them together so that there's like a connect the dots and it goes to the big bad. So I don't know. That's how you do the design at a high level, and that will keep the momentum going because they're just gonna keep getting closer and closer to their goal, which is fighting the big bad. So I hope that helps a little bit. They had so much fun and ate everything I had for the first session and second session in one blow. Oh, they just did stuff really, really fast. Well, keep feeding it to them, dude. Yeah, keep feeding them more. Just keep feeding them more. If they had tons of fun, you be careful not to fall into something that I think dungeon masters can be prone to fall into, which is worrying about things too much. Like, dude, your players were having a blast and loving it. You won, dude. You won. Now give them more. Don't worry about it. Just give them more. Just keep giving them more. As long as you can see they're having fun and enjoying themselves, you're doing something right. Just keep rocking and rolling. Don't worry too much. Don't worry too much. No problem, dude. Where are my questions? I lost my questions. We got that one. My players are trying to sell an invisibility potion for 45k. Yeah, maybe they'll find a real moron who will pay that price. And they have 2 of them. Maybe they'll find 2 morons who will pay that price. How much are they worth, and should I let them sell them? Well, let's find out how much they're worth. Let's go to the Dungeon Master Guide.
Dungeon Master Guide should have some answers to this. I'm not mocking you. I'm just being dumb. See, people wonder why I have a coffee cam. Like, why does Luke have a coffee cam? Well, that's the cat cam. Who's that? Squirty Pie, what's up? She found that. She's like, I got happy. I found my cat toys and the catnip. All right, so if we go to the magic items section in the Dungeon Master Guide, it is going to tell us right here the price of items. And you can see here, and consumables are half price. So let's go to a potion of, what was it, invisibility? We're just gonna look up the potion of invisibility. Whoop-a-bum-ba-bum. Potion of invisibility is very rare. Potion of invisibility is very rare. So according to this table, a very rare potion or a very rare item is 5,000 to 50,000 gold pieces. That is a huge, massive range. Thank you, wizards, for making our lives easy. Consumables are half of this. So a consumable magic item is worth 2,500 to 25,000 gold pieces. Now, I personally, something like a potion of invisibility, I would probably put that down toward the lower range of that. So probably more toward like the 2,500, maybe 5,000, maybe range for that. And that's all that somebody would pay for that. What was your question again? Oh, how much are they worth and should I let them sell them? So according to the Dungeon Master Guide, this gives you a rough thing, but I would even recommend too that go look at Xanathar's Guide to Everything, because it has downtime rules that include selling magic items. I literally would just use the rules in Xanathar's for selling magic items to let your players sell them. And it has rules on prices and stuff too. I would just use those rules. And if they want to sell them, that's fine. Just be reasonable about it and use reasonable numbers and values. And I think Xanathar's is pretty decent. There are some problems with some of the stuff in Xanathar's downtime, like buying magic items has some problems. But most of the downtime rules in there are pretty good. So I would take a look at that. How would you deal with players who look up monster stats during a virtual tabletop game? I'm not. They're ruining their own game. They're ruining their own game. Like, they're just dumb. Like, I'm in a game right now, Descent into Avernus. You have no idea. Look at this cover. Are you kidding me? Look at this amazing cover. Like, this is one of the best alt covers they've made. Amazing. Now, if you take that, you put it next to this stupid cover, you have Descent into Avernus, amazing cover. Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, the worst cover they've made. And I can't read this book. I can't read this book because I'm in a game. I am in a Descent into Avernus game. And if I read that module, I am ruining my own game for me. There's no mystery, there's nothing. It's all ruined. I'll know who the monsters are, I'll know the way to win, I'll know what the PC's motivations are. I will ruin my own game. Players who look up monster stats and even modules during the game are ruining their own game. And that's on them. Now, if it crosses into they're beginning to ruin the game for the other players, then I got a problem with that. Then I got a big problem with that. But if they're ruining the game for themselves and it's mostly not having an impact on the game for everybody else, then, and I suspect they're looking things up, then yeah, I'm probably just not gonna do anything. But if it gets to the point where they're ruining the game and it's obvious they're looking things up because it becomes pretty clear, then I'm probably gonna talk with them and we're gonna figure something out. I guarantee you that I've had players look up monster stuff because I play online now. All my games are online. I guarantee you I've had players look things up during the game. The thing is, though, is that I don't notice it. I don't notice them looking things up. And I probably don't notice it because it's not having an impact on the game. And if it's not having an impact on the game, I just don't care. They're not affecting me. They're not affecting the other players. They're 100% affecting themselves and impacting their own enjoyment of the game. But maybe that makes it more enjoyable for them. I just don't care. If they want to cheat and do that crap, as long as it doesn't impact me or the other players, whatever. It's. But once they cross the line, then something's got to happen. Yeah, I do not preemptively change my monsters in case players are looking things up. I do not do that. A lot of people will recommend that. I do not recommend changing your monsters because players might look it up. However, I do change lots of my monsters. I do give them extra things they can do. I change things on my monsters all the time, but it has nothing to do with the fact that players might look them up. That is not my motivation. I do it for me because I think it's cool, because I want to have a better monster, because some of the monsters are lame or boring, and some of the monsters need to get spiced up and made more powerful to stay competitive because players have power creep built into the game. So my motivation is totally different. It has nothing to do with the fact that players look them up. And if I didn't ordinarily change my monsters because I wanted to, I would not do it in response to players looking stuff up. Would never do that. I'm sure many of my players are also dungeon masters, and they know the monsters, and they will recognize when, wait a second, that monster doesn't have legendary saves. Where'd that monster get legendary saves from? Oh yeah, Luke's the dungeon master, and he changed the monster. It's what I can do. My prerogative. Do you have any tips for scheduling sessions? Yes. Yes. Dude, scheduling is the number one thing that leads to games fizzling and falling apart. It is the number one thing. There have been polls. I have done polls. It is the number one thing that ruins games, that makes games fall apart. It's scheduling problems. I have basically come to a system that mostly works with scheduling, and it's very, very easy. It's very, very easy. One, we pick a game. We pick a day of the week and a time when everyone can make it most of the time. So all 5 of my players and me, Saturday at 4 o'clock. We can always do Saturday at 4 o'clock. So that's our game, Saturday at 4 o'clock. But here's the other thing. Every other week, I have found that when you always have the same day and time for consistency, very, very, very helpful. That allows people to schedule their lives around the fact that they have a game. So they know Saturday at 4 p.m. is game time. I don't schedule things during that time. I schedule it during other times. That way it's not impacting the game. Things will come up, sure, but for the most part, I try to keep that time free because I know it's game day. So a set day and time is immensely helpful. Second thing for scheduling games, every other week. It depends on your players, it depends on their availability and stuff like that. I play mostly with adults that have full-time jobs, and many of them have families as well. And I have found that when you have a weekly game with adults who are busy and stuff, it's very easy for them not to come to the game, and they'll miss a lot of the game sessions. They'll give you nice polite excuses and stuff like that. They might legitimately be busy, or they might just not feel like playing or something, and they're like, well, I could play next week, so I'll just skip this game session or something, you know. But I found that weekly games a lot of times can be very difficult for like adults to get to. But every other week is way more manageable. It's very, very manageable for most people. when you start to get to like once a month, then you're playing so infrequently that you forget half of the stuff that's happening, you know, and it takes forever to make any progress in the game. So I've found that every 2 weeks is a very good rhythm that allows for people to have lives that aren't just D&D. It gives the dungeon master time to prepare the game session, and you get pretty good consistency where players are able to keep busy working adults with families are able to keep that consistency if they want to, if they make it a priority in their lives. So I've found that that works very well. I've also found that if you avoid canceling games or rescheduling when one person can't make it, you're going to save yourself a lot of trouble. You don't reschedule or cancel a game because one person can't make it. If you get into that habit, you find yourself going into this spiral of death. That's what I call it, where you're just running fewer and fewer games. You're almost never playing because there's always someone who can't make it or something, you know, or every so often or every other week or something, somebody can't make it. And then you're either rescheduling and you're going through this whole exercise of trying to find a day and time, an alternate day and time that works for everyone. So that can easily lead you to not even playing at all if you just reschedule every time somebody can't make it, or if you just cancel every time somebody can't make it. So I don't reschedule or cancel my games. We have a set day and time. If you can't make it, we're still playing D&D. We're still playing D&D. You're gonna miss out. Sorry, you know, you should be there. It's always the exact same day and time. If you want to play D&D, then yeah, plan for it. The other thing that I found too is that when you know that the gaming group is going to play without you, that is a strong motivator to be there. Psychologically, if you know that if you cancel and don't go, that they're just gonna, if you decide you're not gonna go, that you can't make it, and they're gonna cancel the game, well then you have no motivation. It's like, I'm not gonna miss out on anything. They're just gonna cancel or move it, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you know that you're going to miss out, it's loss aversion. You don't want to miss out, right? Then you're gonna make a stronger effort to actually be there and not miss the game. I've been running lots of games for 5th edition for a long time, and I have found that players rarely miss games. They rarely miss games. Part of it, I think, is because of the way I do scheduling. Part of it is probably just that the games are good and people enjoy playing them and they want to be there, you know. So there are different variables involved there, but I've had very good track record with not having players miss games very often. So yeah, and I think that in part is owed to scheduling. So there you go. There's some information for you. I think that pretty much addresses most of my main tips for scheduling games. Use that FOMO against your players. Yes, you must. Dude, as a dungeon master, you're all about like psychology and like reading people and stuff. Yeah, I totally use that stuff. My group's actually playing right now without me. Dan. I'm sorry, Dan. Are you missing D&D to moderate for me? Why would you do that? Ed is playing Curse of Strahd right now. He's killing his players with werewolves. I do cancel if only 2 players can make it. I usually have 5 players in all my games. And if only 2 can make it, then I'm gonna cancel. But if 1 person can't make it, I'm not canceling. If 2 people can't make it, sometimes I cancel. I never reschedule. I never reschedule. It's either play or cancel. That's it. We either play or cancel. I do not go into the rescheduling bullcrap where you try to get 6 people's calendars to align. Oh no, not doing that. So it's either play or cancel. Now, if 2 players can't make it, I might cancel based upon how I'm feeling. If I am really overburdened with work and stuff that I'm doing and I need the time, and if 2 people can't make it and I'm not feeling, and I have other things I need to do or something, then I might cancel, you know. But not necessarily. I might still have the game. It just depends. But with 1 person missing, no, there's no way I'm canceling. That dude needs to figure his crap out. By the way, if you have a player, this is something important to consider too. If you have a player who is always missing the game, and they always have a socially acceptable excuse, I'm busy, work, family, the wife, the kid, the cats, whatever it happens to be, consider that they probably don't even want to play the game, but they don't have the heart to tell you they don't want to play. So they keep on giving you socially acceptable excuses not to be there. So if you are rescheduling or canceling your game because 1 person in essence doesn't want to play but doesn't have the wherewithal to tell you, almost said a bad word, then it's foolish for you to cancel that game. The person doesn't even want to play. So if a person is constantly canceling or not able to make it and giving excuses for it, consider that they probably don't want to play anymore. And even if they do, and everything they're telling you is the truth, if you don't have time to be a player, then you can't really be a player, can you? And I'm gonna have to find somebody else to be a player. So that's something else to consider too, because many times people will not tell you the truth. They will lie to you, they will make up excuses because they don't want to make you feel bad. So don't forget that. Wes, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate that. Want to let you know I love the content you make. Thank you. I appreciate that. It really does help me be a better DM and player. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. I'm happy. I'm happy to help you. I'm getting tired too. This coffee's not working. What are some of your favorite monsters to use and why? Generally speaking, my favorite monsters to use are the monsters I have not used before. One of the reasons that I am a dungeon master is that I would get bored playing the same character every day. It's ridiculous. How am I going to play the same stupid paladin every game? Oh my gosh, this is boring. The same paladin, come on. So as a dungeon master, I want to play a variety of monsters. So my favorite monsters, I don't have a favorite monster that I love to play that I'm constantly bringing back into the game because I love the monster. My favorite monsters are the ones I haven't run in a game before. Give me a new monster, something different. I love that variety. So generally speaking, the ones that I haven't done before, those are going to be my favorites. Only because it's new. It's something different to do. So yeah, I don't really have a favorite in the traditional sense. I would just get bored with it, and then it would not be my favorite anymore. You know, I can tell you monsters that suck, that I don't like, that are my least favorite, like giants. Giants are like the worst monster in the game. It's a big fat sack of hit points that does damage. Nothing interesting about giants, ladies and gentlemen. You just stand around them and swing your weapons and just wait to deplete their hit point stores. It's just about as boring as it goes. So I always spice giants up and do special stuff with giants when I use them, because as written, most of them are just boring as crap. So I can talk about bad monsters. Iron Lord, what's up, dude? How you doing? Nothics are cool. The Nothics are really cool. I have some Nothics in an upcoming game for one of my groups. I can't talk about it. That's top secret. But Nothics are cool. Do you as a DM moderate personal conflicts between players, or do you advise them to work it out of game? If their personal conflict has to do with the game, then I'm moderating it. because if they're having a personal conflict that's impacting the game during the game session, then I want that to be resolved, and I'm gonna try to moderate that and figure that out. One of the things I do in my as a day job is along those lines, conflict moderation facilitator type crap. That's part of what I do when needed. So if there are two players that have a conflict and it doesn't impact the game, nothing happens during the game, but like after the game they go to the parking lot and fight, I probably don't care. As long as you're not impacting my game, you guys do what you need to do in your personal life. But if they're having a conflict at the game table over something that's happening in the game, then you better believe I'm moderating that discussion. I am not leaving it to two people who are upset at each other to figure it out. They need a moderator, and that's going to be me. So it doesn't happen very often though. It doesn't happen very often. What are good places to play D&D in person when playing in someone's house isn't an option? Game shops.
Your friendly local game shop.
Yeah, go to your game shop, dude. A lot of game shops have table space where you can play games. It's for D&D or role-playing games. Oftentimes it's for Magic, because Magic is how game shops make their money. Let me tell you, those trash bins fill up with empty Magic deck wrappers on game nights when there's Magic stuff going on. Just like those game shops will be full of people playing Magic, and they're just buying more decks. And the game shops got to make money. They're a business. They got to stay in, you know what I mean? Which is fine, but they have tons of tables a lot of time, and you can get one of those tables to play your D&D game. So when I don't have a person's house that we can play in, we play at a game shop. And I always try to find a game shop that has private rooms. And there's one near my house that does have private rooms, and that's where we always go, so we can have our own private room. But that's the way to do it. What are your thoughts on the last Draconic Unearthed Arcana? The race options seem OP. However, the spell blah 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 looks interesting based on the way it's written. I literally looked at Unearthed Arcana on one of my streams a couple weeks ago, and pretty sure I posted it to my YouTube channel also. Did I? Yeah, I did. I posted the entire review to my YouTube channel. I didn't have any problems with it. I thought they were fine. I felt like the Dragonborn is a little underpowered anyway. And so the new options that made it more powerful, I was fine with that, because the Dragonborn is kind of weak to begin with in the player handbook. So the new options that make it more powerful, I thought were fine. There were a couple things that were a little like, but there was nothing in there that I was like, wah! You know what I mean? But you can watch my whole review on a video. Go watch the video. In your opinion, what's a great resource for creating a campaign? Are you talking about a tool? A tool to create a campaign? I don't use any. If you're asking about tools, I don't use any special tools to create campaigns. Creating a campaign is not hard. You just need some paper or a Word document. I use OneNote. Creating a campaign, there's a mapping software called MindMup, I think, that I used once to create like some basic bubbles and lines and stuff. But paper and pencil is all I usually need to create a campaign. And then a place to take notes and write stuff down. OneNote works great. I don't use any special tools for it. I know there are tools out there. I know that there are programs and places you can buy and subscribe to use for tools for creating campaigns. I've never used them before. Would they be useful and helpful? Probably. I just don't use them. Oh, we gotta do our giveaway. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta finish up our giveaway. Thank you, moderators. I love you. They're like, Luke. I'm like, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not joined our giveaway tonight, please go sign up. 3 people are going to win a back issue of Layer Magazine. Layer Magazine is the monthly D&D publication that I put out to all my patrons. It has things like entire 5th edition adventures in it with maps for virtual tabletops, things like new magic items, new monsters, magic item curses, villains with stat blocks, lots of really cool stuff in there. So we're gonna do that giveaway right now. I just want to give folks a couple seconds here to go sign up for that giveaway. Also want to encourage you to support Stack Up. They are a military charity that is doing lots of awesome stuff to help our veterans and active service members with mental health stuff, intervention, crisis prevention, suicide helpline. They do all kinds of awesome things for our folks in the military. So please consider donating a little something. I'm trying to raise $5,000 for these folks in the month of May. So if you could give a little something, I would appreciate it, and they would appreciate it even more. So, all right, let's do our giveaway. Let's do the giveaway. I gotta find it. Oh, there it is. Are other people trying to do the links? Yeah, only moderators can do those commands. Sorry, guys. Moderators, folks are gunning for your jobs. They're gunning for your jobs. People are going to be like, how do I become a moderator? the first way not to be the number one way to become a moderator is not to ask. Okay, draw the winners. Okay, drawing the winners. 3 winners to draw. Here we go. Draw. You have tanks? You have tanks. Nice. All right, here we go. It looks like Matt from New Jersey. I think it's Matt from New Jersey. You are a winner. Jason from Florida, you have won. And Jacob from Texas, you have won. So I don't know if you guys are still here or not, but you are winners. I'll be sending you an email with codes and stuff, and then you can get your issue to Layer Magazine. Boom. All right. Dan needs more dice. Amazing. Yes. Penguin Butt, you're ruthless but not heartless. I'll give you that one. Barely. All right, folks. We're done. That's it. That's all we got. That's all she wrote. We're done for tonight. I'm ending the stream. Thank you for hanging out. I will see you. Oh, tomorrow we have a video. Yeah, we're done here. I'm over on Twitch every week. I'm over on Twitch streaming. So if I didn't get to your question, and there were lots of questions, you can always come by Twitch and I will try to answer questions. There are a lot fewer people on Twitch, so that means more chance of me answering your question. And then I'm leaving. So thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'm going now. Goodbye. Look at all these moderators just throwing this stuff. Yay. All these links, all the beautiful links. All right, bye guys. Ending the stream.